Live from the AM1310 WDPN studio, it's time for live and local sports talk. It's the Sam Bourquin Show.
I'm ready.
Give the show a call at 330-821-1310.
Good call, meatball.
Watch the Sam Bourquin Show on the AM1310 Facebook page, the Q92 YouTube page, and on X. This is the Sam Bourquin Show on AM1310 WDPN.
He wears number 1. Welcome to Cleveland, James Harden.
He'll shovel back to Harden. Once more to Merrill. He doesn't hesitate. Oh, goodness. Sam Merrill is putting on a show. 20% of the Wizards' 15-man roster speaks French. Koulibaly. Whoa, is Allen down the lane. He does.
6-0 run. They trap Arenas and they get the turnover. 2-on-1. Bynum and Thornton. Bynum throws it down.
Solid box out.
Thornton gets his man in the air. Now kicks it for Johnson. And Puff Johnson gets the 3, and Ohio State has its largest lead of the game.
Oh, good night last night for Ohio basketball, was it not? Mount Union picks up a win. Ohio State picks up a win. The Cavs pick up a win. I think the Zippies got a win. Kent got a win. Miami of Ohio plays tonight. I'll tell you what, man. Ohio, I know, always known for their football, but we are getting it done in hoops. Welcome to the Sam Bourquin Show, everybody. Hope you're having a terrific day. It's a 3-question Thursday edition of the program. Sammy B here. Ryan Rainsberg is on the other side of the glass. Let's get the housekeeping ready. Telephone lines are wide open for you today. 330-821-1310. That's 330-821-1310. Let that marinate. All right. Text line is open, 330-924-7088. You can watch and listen. Now, hold on here. I don't want to tell you anything that's not a truth. You can watch and listen. 1310 WDPN Facebook page, our X page, and the Q92 Radio YouTube channel. Also, while you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. That's also where we do a lot of our chatting today as well. So you can listen and watch a lot of different social media platforms, although they're not working right now. Hopefully they will here in the next couple of minutes. Big show for you today. I thought about asking the boss today and checking with Rainsberg, could we do a 5-hour extravaganza today? And I thought, probably not a good idea. We have a loaded show for you today.
We have 2 nights this week where we don't have a game, including Saturday, and you were going to keep me here some extra hours.
Yes,
I see how it is.
Yes, I was. Well, you're doing such a bang-up job now. Rainsberg showed me some tech stuff, because you know me, man. Me and technology, forget it. He showed me some stuff there's doing with the show on the YouTube, on the live feed. I'm like, my God, what are we trying to be like Pat McAfee around this place? It looks really good, really cool. If you're on the stream, or if you're not, get there. Go and check it out on the X, on Facebook, Q92 YouTube channel. Take a look. We got the Sam Bourquin Show logo in the bottom left. We've got your telephone number and your text number underneath my big ugly face. And then we've got a crawl at the bottom of the screen that continues telling you what's coming up on the show today. And then at the top, you've got the 1310 logo and then places to follow me on social media. It's really awesome. It really looks good. Don't know how it's done. For that matter, I just want to eat the cake. I don't care how the cake's made.
It's a little bit of Photoshop.
Oh,
a little bit of creativity.
It just looks really good. So I encourage all of you to check that out right now. Looks really good. Really, really good.
Well, thank you.
So the Cavs last night over the Bullets, the Washington Wizards last night, spanked them. Sammy Merrill had 32 points last night. First home game from James Harden. You heard his introduction as we opened up the show today. Spider was outstanding again last night. Place was electric. If you'd have told me Cavs Wizards February and it was going to be one of the greatest atmospheres in the NBA, I would have said probably not. But it was. That building was shaking last night. And Cavaliers have won 5 in a row now. 10 of their last 11. And, of course, the All-Star break is coming up. So now they're not going to be together now for, about 10 days. They just, everything just started clicking. James just got here. We're on a little win streak, getting some practices, getting to know one another on and off the floor, and then the All-Star break happens. Imagine that. So the fellas are going to have a little bit of a break. And we'll all get back together here for the start of the rest of the season. I'll tell you what, when we get back, I think there's 26 games left, maybe 27 games left in the regular season. That's it. We keep telling you it's going to be a sprint to the finish, and that it's going to be. All-Star weekend this weekend, and then a couple of days off, and then the Cavs will get back at it. But they look really, really good last night. Now, again, Washington stinks. But first home game off of a long road trip. Guys were locked in. They played really well. Speaking of playing well last night, how about Mount Union? 85-67 over Heidelberg. A little payback last night at the MAC for the guys in purple. Mike Fuline, head basketball coach of the Raiders, will join us today at 3:35. Mount came out of the chute last night. They put 50 on the board in the first half. And they handled their business, and now they are 21-2 on the year. 21-2. They got 2 games left. Saturday, home, Wilmington. We'll have it, 1310 WDPN. Next Wednesday at Capitol. That will end the regular season, and then we get you ready for the OAC tournament. Looking forward to that. Ohio State picked up a win at home last night against USC. Got behind early. Caught them. Built a nice little lead. Almost frittered it away. But the Buckeyes held on for the win at the Schottenstein Center last night. They almost had 12,000 last night. That's a couple thousand more than they've been getting. It probably helped the tickets were $7, but that's okay. Whatever it takes. Buckeyes with the win. We're going to check in with Adam Jardy. He's the beat reporter for Ohio State Hoops from the Columbus Dispatch. We'll talk to Adam coming up here at 4:10. Really looking forward to our 4:35 interview today. A lot of you remember the Jackson State Championship team in basketball, and then a young man who went on to Butler for a year, and then he followed his coach to Ohio State. We're talking about Kyle Young. Kyle's going to actually have his high school basketball jersey at Jackson retired tomorrow night, and I thought it'd be cool to have him on today. So Kyle will be joining us at 4:35 this afternoon. Make sure you join us for that. Looking forward to talking to Kyle. Super, super, super young man. College basketball last night. No upsets. Not any big upsets. Everybody kind of handled their business last night. Tonight, Miami of Ohio looks for their 25th win in a row. They'll take on their rival OU this evening. See if the Redhawks can stay perfect. We mentioned that the NBA All-Star break is coming up this weekend. I literally have not 1 ounce of interest in watching that. I might watch the 3-point shootout because Donovan Mitchell's going to be in it. And that's probably going to be it for me. NBA All-Star Weekend for me has just kind of faded into oblivion. I really used to love it, especially the 3-point shootout, the slam dunk, all that stuff. In the game itself, I can't watch it. So I'll watch Spider with a 3-pointer, and then I'm going to check out. But that's coming up this weekend. Also, congratulations and shout out to Rick Hairston. He has been hired at the University of Mount Union to be the first women's flag football head coach. As you know, the university brought that sport on, and Rick Hairston is going to be the head coach of the Mount Union women's flag football team. So shout out to Coach. Texted him here this afternoon. He's gonna jump on with us next Monday. Give him a couple days to get situated. Plus, he's still coaching hoops. All right. So, congratulations to Rick. He's going to come on with us Monday and talk about his new venture there. We also have the 3-question Thursday quiz. We're going to get into that. We got Sammy B's best bet coming up at 4:29. 5:29, we've got On This Day in Sports History. And a couple news and notes from Major League Baseball. There's a fella out there by the name of Nick Castellanos. You might be familiar with him. Philadelphia Phillies told him not to report to camp. He's out there. Would the Guardians maybe take a shot? He's still got a little power in the bat. He's getting up there. I don't know what he would be asking for as far as contract and everything, but that might be a guy that I call to give us a right-handed bat and a little bit of jump in the lineup. So we'll see what happens with that. All right, let's get into the 3-question Thursday quiz here before we step out. Question number 1 today. If you could listen to only one album for the rest of your life, what would it be? Only one. I had no riding the fence here today. If you had to listen to one album for the rest of your life, which one would it be? Question number 2. What's the worst job you've ever had? What's the worst job you've ever had? I can't wait to see those. I'll tell you mine. I got a couple. Question number 3. A word that you always have trouble spelling. A word that you always have trouble spelling. I've got a couple of those too. A word that you go to write it, or you go to type it, or you go to text it, and you're like, how do I spell that? Okay. There's a couple out there that have plagued me my entire life. I'll share that with you as well. So that's your 3-question Thursday. Get those in, 330-821-1310. Drop them on our Q92 Radio YouTube channel. I think it'll be a fun little quiz today. All right, let's step aside. We're coming up on 23 minutes past the hour. Just getting rolling here on AM 1310 WDPN. The Sam Bourquin Show will return after this.
Of all the ways to get ahead in life, we're one of them, and we're legal. The John Tesh Radio Show.
I'm John Tesh, and we couldn't be happier about bringing you intelligence for your life every day. We have a room full of researchers gathering the information and ideas you need to make your life simpler and better, and to make you the smartest person in the room.
You're just trying to be better. We're just trying to help. The John Tesh Radio Show.
Join me for music and intelligence for your life, 10 to 3, Monday through Saturday, only on AM 1310 WDPN.
It's intelligence for your life.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-498-2098 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as one day. Just dial 1-800-498-2098 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-498-2098 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
We are the keepers of the wild, America's original and most invested conservationists. For more than 80 years, we've been committed to conserving wildlife and the natural landscapes that define our nation. From rugged alpine ridgelines to peaceful tall grass prairies, we've supported the conservation of more than 36 million acres of American wildlands. Our funding has led to cleaner water, fresher air, and improved wildlife habitat. From abundant fish and waterfowl populations to robust deer and elk herds, nothing is more important than maintaining wild spaces for adventurers to explore and wildlife to thrive. We are America's hunters and target shooters, stewards of the American outdoors.
America's hunters and target shooters, along with firearm, ammunition, and archery manufacturers, have invested more than $46 billion to help state fish and wildlife agencies manage and protect wildlife and wildlands across America. For more information, visit outdoorstewards.org.
WDPN. Welcome back to the Sam Bourquin Show. 330-821-1310. 330-821-1310. Tom says, Buckeyes still look crappier even when they win. Lose them all and get a new coach. You know, there are some people down in Columbus that would have that same sentiment. That was kind of an ugly win last night. They got some flash play last night out of Mobley. Just don't have we talked about it yesterday. They just don't have the zip. The Buck, they're just missing something. Maybe it does come down to play. I don't know if it comes down to players or Jake Diebler. I don't know. But they did get a win, and we'll talk to Adam Jardy about the Buckeyes coming up here at 4:10. 3-question Thursday quiz. Question number 1, if you had to listen to one album for the rest of your life, which one would it be? Question number 2, what's the worst job you've ever had? Question number 3, a word that you always have trouble spelling. Get those comments in on our Q92 Radio YouTube chat and all of our WDPN social medias. You can also drop them on both of my Facebook pages as well. Rainsburg, I see we got a nice comment up on the chat.
Yeah, Hall of Fame City says, I do love the presentation the 1310 Q92 family use on YouTube for all the podcasts. From the morning show to Sammy B to live games, a lot of peeps have told me that they love the on-screen scoreboard. So thank you, Hall of Fame City.
Appreciate that. Hall of Fame City. Thanks for listening and watching and commenting. We love it. All right, let's get a couple of these 3-question Thursday quiz comments in before we get to the bottom of the hour and get you ready for Coach Fuline coming up here in about 10 minutes. Jim says the album he would listen to the rest of his life, Rolling Stones' greatest hits. Worst job, washing dishes at a restaurant. Word he has trouble spelling, anything that has CEL in it. Mark says Pink Floyd Animals, his go-to album. Worst job, he worked at O'Neill's in high school. Word he always has trouble spelling, sheriff. God, me too. I always want to put 2 R's, and it's only one. Steve Schonenberger checking in. Mood Madness is his favorite album. Worst job, machine cutting sheet metal for soft water tanks. Well, that doesn't sound fun at all. God. Doug says album if he had to listen to the rest of his life, Billy Joel's greatest hits. Worst job, working at Meijer and also a pizza place in Toledo. Took those jobs right out of the military in 1989. He put 2 words that he has trouble spelling, Connecticut and Massachusetts. Massachusetts, I've never had any trouble with. Connecticut, ironically, once in a while.
I think I would be the opposite in that situation, actually.
Connecticut. Mike Lawrence checking in, says, tie between Pink Floyd, The Wall, and Supertramp. Breakfast in America. Worst job, shoveling blank at a farm near Baylor Beach. Fill in the blank there. Shoveling. Yeah. Let's see here. Word he always has trouble spelling, any word in Mandarin. Thomas checks in. Album, Boston, their debut album. His worst job was a paper boy. He wrecked his bike multiple times and Papers were flying everywhere. Word he has trouble with, spelling familiar. He said he missed it in 6th grade spelling bee, almost through the plastic chair he had to sit in through the window. You know, I was a pretty decent speller through grade school and even through high school. I made it, I think, like 3 or 4 years in a row. When I was at St. Michael's, we had the grade school spelling bee. I think it was still, Scripps or whatever back then. And I made it to the last round 4 years in a row. But I always got knocked out by a word. And I remember the last year I thought I had it. I thought I was going to represent the school in the spelling bee. And then the teacher says, Sam, your word is acceptably. Acceptably. Man, I choked. Choked.
That's an easy one.
I know. You know how okay, so you spell it, what is it? ACCEPTABLEY?
Acceptable. No, there's no Y at the end.
No, acceptably.
Oh, acceptably.
Acceptably.
I don't think it would that just be a Y, not an EY?
I don't know. But you know how I started it?
Crap.
EX.
Oh, X.
I was out before I even got started. I thought, God bless America. Again, I had to go home with my tail between my legs. What happened today, son? I got the word acceptably. You misspelled it, didn't you? Yep. Oh, well. The news is next. 1310 WDPN, talking Purple Raider hoops with Mike Fuline coming up.
Now, the latest area news on AM 1310 WDPN.
Good afternoon. It's 3:30. Major changes announced today on the immigration crackdown in Minnesota. ABC's Karen Travers has details.
President Trump's border czar Tom Homan announced Thursday the administration's surge of law enforcement in Minnesota has ended and agents will now begin leaving the state. Homan claiming Minnesota is now, quote, less of a sanctuary state for criminals.
I have proposed, and President Trump has concurred, that this surge operation conclude. A significant drawdown has already been underway this week and will continue to the next week.
Homan was sent to Minneapolis last month following the fatal shooting of Alex Preddy, and as the administration was facing mounting pressure for its aggressive tactics on immigration enforcement. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
Investigators are pleading with people to share home surveillance camera footage from specific dates leading up to the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie as they deal with thousands of tips in their hope to crack the case. Guthrie, the 84-year-old mother of Today's Show host Savannah Guthrie, has been missing from her Tucson area home since February 1st. TV stations in Tucson reported Wednesday that people with Ring doorbell cameras in the area got an alert saying investigators are requesting footage from January 11th between 9 p.m. and midnight. The stations also reported that a pair of black gloves were recovered during agents' search and have been submitted for DNA analysis. A Ukrainian athlete has been disqualified from the 2026 Winter Olympics over the helmet he wanted to wear during competition. Vladislav Herskovich is a skeleton athlete and went to Italy with a helmet showing images of more than 20 Ukrainian athletes killed in the war with Russia. The IOC ruled that he could not wear the helmet during competition since it would violate a rule against making political statements on the field. Olympic officials suggested that Herskovich wear a black armband instead, but he maintained that the helmet does not violate IOC rules. IOC spokesman Mark Adams spoke about the decision to bar him from competition today.
It's not about his message. It's absolutely not about the message that he wanted to give. It's simply the place.
The remote Canadian community of Tumbler Ridge is mourning after a shooting that killed 8 people, mostly children, plus the shooter. Residents of the British Columbia community have been building a memorial with lights and stuffed animals and gathered late Wednesday for a cold vigil. Police say the suspect, 18-year-old Jesse Van Roetselar, died from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. Authorities say police had visited her home before for mental health checks. They say she first killed her mother and stepbrother, then attacked the nearby school. The motive is unclear. Prime Minister Mark Carney says Canada mourns with the town. It's 27 degrees in Alliance at 3:32. This is WDPN News. I'm Jeff Mears.
Here's Mark Johnson's forecast on AM 1310 WDPN.
Dry weather for your Thursday afternoon. Clouds with a little peak or two of sunshine here and there. Our high 28 degrees. Overnight, cloudy skies for the most part. I think we'll clear you out by dawn. Our low near 15. From the 3 News Weather Center, I'm Mark Johnson.
I never meant to call you. 1310 WDPN, a little purple rain as we come back here to the Sam Bourquin Show on this Thursday afternoon, the day after another Mount Union Purple Raider basketball win as they took care of Heidelberg last night, 85-67 at the MAC. Let's bring on the head coach of the Purple Raiders, Mike Fuline, here on this a little bit of a chilly Thursday afternoon. Coach Mike, congrats on another win at home last night. How are we doing today?
Good, Sammy. Good. Just, that time of year, just getting through the days, man.
Right? No kidding. Well, it was you guys came out and looked like you had a little bit of a purpose there. You dropped 50 on them in the first half, got into a nice little rhythm, got to play some guys late in the game. Cam had a really nice night for you off the bench. I guess what was the message to the young fellows before they went out on the court last night about 6:45 or so?
Yeah, I don't think this group really responds to, revenge games or things that we just have a mindset that, we need to win 2 more, and you can't win, 2 in a row without winning that third one. And it's just kind of that process right now that, the next game's up. What do we have to do to win? How are we going to guard them? What can we do to score? Love being at home with this group. And, that's kind of the message. The only thing that can beat us is sometimes just us. And that was kind of the frustrating part. It was a good hour of the evening. And then, we just kind of fall into some weird grooves, man, where, we just kind of stopped playing a little bit. And that's the part, that's the next level for not only this team, but for these guys as they move, towards the future.
Yeah, I know you had to light them up a little bit there in the second half because you could side. And I looked at my broadcast partner and I said, boy, they're in that funk again for like 3.5, 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And I think another possession went by and you said, that's it. And you got up and called the timeout, brought them over and tried to get a little message across. But let's go to the positive and talk about that first half. Kevin got off to a great start last night. Elijah was very active. Chance had to kind of pick his spots, get beat up a little bit. Caleb went down early a little bit. Chris Knight got raked across the eye late in the game last night. I'm like, what is going on out there? But talk about that first half.
Yeah, the first half was good. I think we figured out, our best way to defend them. It's a first-year coach, and they had a lot of new players, and it kind of took us off. We just had the wrong plan, Sammy, to be honest with you, in the first matchup, and got down 15-2 and then just responded back and then just couldn't hold on. So, we thought now we just had a better understanding of what they were trying to do and our strengths as well. And just kind of took them out of their rhythm offensively because they are, really good, especially when they get going. So we shared the basketball, like you said. Listen, man, when Kevin's playing well and Elijah together, because Kevin Hamilton and Chance and Caleb are just they kind of always are solid. You know what I mean? And not to say the other two aren't, but the other two are different birds, man. They're good, and especially, when Eli gets going and draws doubles and you're kicking. And Kevin looked at me at one point because I don't think they think I can shoot, Coach. I said, well, they got to guard some other things, man. That's what makes you open. That's a beautiful part about an offense, So, but it's good. Like Sammy, I'm going to miss all 3 of our seniors. Senior night on Saturday or senior day. We'll because they these three guys are not only terrific players, but my goodness, man, what great people they are. And you just stay up and work, and our coaches work their butts off just to try to get them something a season that they can remember.
No doubt about it. I mean, it's just, you can tell that you've got that. You guys have it's kind of weird, but it's kind of cool. You have different levels of leadership. I mean, you got your seniors, You got a couple of the underclassmen. Obviously, you got yourself and your staff.
Mm-hmm.
You got your support staff. There's just it's a fine-tuned machine. No matter how you go about getting there, you guys are always able to get there, and that's, I think, one reason you're 21-2, and you obviously the program has taken off. But these kids, you can tell, and we watch them. They generally love playing basketball with one another. I don't know what the practices are like. I assume they're the same way. You got a good group here. You really do.
We do. It's a great practice group. The one thing that we get, and it's just human nature, you come out at halftime, you're up 24 or 26, and then you just, the guys that start and the guys that play it's just kind of it's not a selfishness on purpose, but hey, I want to get, it's my turn now,
Sure.
and you just can't be that way because, that they can come back. I mean, I'm watching our film against Wilmington. We're up 22 with 8 minutes to go, and they get it all the way down to 7. So it's just like, that's the one thing. It's just, we say the word maturity all the time, and we just keep preaching it and keep saying it, sometimes yelling it. I mean, that's like what I want to do, right? In the second half, to scream at our guys that I had to do last night. I mean, that's like what I enjoy doing. I mean, come on, just, be mature enough, finish the game, just be solid. And I think after that, Kevin had a great pull-up jumper. We hit a 3, got 2 stops, and then, but why do I have to lose my mind? Say I'm too old. It's February, man. Like I'm at the end here. Like just do what you do.
It's crazy because you sprint out, you go into a funk, and then all it takes is a quick 3 or a block shot, and it's like the bad never happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's wild.
It is. And the two we lost, those things just never came. You know what I mean? So so you're hoping that you hit a shot that's kind of stop the bleeding, but we can't rely on that. We just can't rely on that. I mean, I begged them, please, can we just have 40 solid minutes, and we're still striving for that, which is kind of a cool thing,
Oh, yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Because it's still out there.
Yes.
I truly believe you're going to get that 40, and it's going to come at a big time. I got a feeling. Coach Mike Fuline is our guest here, head coach of the Purple Raiders, kind enough to join every Thursday at 3:35 here on 1310 WDPN. Mount a winner over the Berg last night, 85-67. They've got Wilmington coming to town Saturday, and then down to Columbus on Wednesday. That'll be it for the regular season. Crazy, but only 2 left to go. But I love this homestand. Another home game on Saturday with Wilmington, and you've seen them before already. We talked about that lead, and you're able to hang on and get the win down the road. But senior day coming up, obviously a ton of emotions from everybody, from yourself to the players to the families. How do you, Coach Fuline, approach senior days, and do they change from year to year depending on the size of the class and the individuals?
Yeah, they do. I mean, it's just one of those things. It depends on who's there, and when you look at these 3 guys. I mean, Dante Collier's been here for 4 years. He's our one guy that's won a ring and has cut down nets and things like that. Just kind of the perseverance of sticking through it for 4 years, and now is a major piece to the puzzle. Kevin Moore came in. We recruited him out of high school like crazy, man. I was at Campbell Memorial High School more than I think I was at my house. And, he decided to try some other things and then found his way back here and is one of the most incredible people that I've been around, man. Chance says it best. He's the best teammate he's ever seen, and maybe he'll ever have. I mean, he's just that guy. And then, Caleb, after going down last year, that was brutal for our basketball team, and him being back to be able to have the success he's had this season. Again, just a good dude. He's, I think, a triple major, 4.0 student. So, you kind of reflect on it a little bit. You're grateful for those guys and their families. But there's still a lot of season to go. There's still so much season to go. So it's not a sad time. It's more of an exciting time.
Oh, absolutely. I cannot believe Dante Collier is not going to be with this program after this. I just cannot believe. And I started thinking, how can this be? And I'm thinking, well, okay, well, there's no more 6-year stuff, so guys aren't able to hang around and get the extra year because of COVID and different things. And the 5 years, the 6 years, and the 4, it goes by in a whim, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. I mean, you start thinking about next year with Eli being a senior. That seems like he just got here. So that's the cool part. And what you try to stress as a coach is just that urgency, right? Let's just not have any regrets. You're going to make memories. I mean, you may not think it's a big deal, but if you see a banner up there, you're going to come back to games eventually with your wife and kids and say, hey, that was my team, and I know how important that is because I see it with our past teams, so just them not to put the pressure. That's not pressure. That's just like, let's just leave it out there. Let it go, man. Let it go. And hopefully that's the kind of what we see here in the next couple of weeks.
Coach Mike Fuline is our guest. Mount Union Purple Raider basketball. We took care of Heidelberg last night. Wilmington coming up 1 o'clock at the Mac Center. Love to see everybody out there. If you can't get there, we'll have it for you. 1310 WDPN. Got to talk a couple of guys. Sean Vaden last night comes in and gets his old 2 or 3 blocks right away. Just such a presence in there. And then Cam comes off the bench last night and gets 14. 4 of 7 behind the arc. If you could, a couple of words about those young fellas.
Yeah, well, let's start with Cam. I mean, Cam literally does it every day in practice. I mean, he's just a tremendous shooter of the basketball. It's automatic, man, and we need to find better. We're trying, I'm telling you, to get him some shots. You just try to, when he's getting it may be a limited time, you just try to get him a shot because it's going to go in. And he's just like a lot of the great shooters I've coached. Once one goes in, man, watch out. You're going to get 2, 3, maybe even 4. Dante's a lot like that too. So, I'm just constantly begging him about the other side of the floor, and he's gotten so much better defensively. Has a ways to go, but you look at him and Chris Knight and Landon. Those 3 guys are going to be a centerpiece to our program. They think they know now. The speed a little bit's different. The physicality is a little bit different.
Yeah.
But there's no doubt in my mind all 3 of those guys are going to be great. And Cam Weekly is going to be one of the best shooters that I coach. I can guarantee you that. And then obviously Sean. I mean, I could talk about him forever. But what he's done, Sam, is he's just taken a huge jump, obviously. And he was in here last week and we were just talking, and, he does a lot of things in the summer with his media and, it's some photography. He's just a cool kid.
Yeah.
I just said, man, brother, just give me a little bit, just a little bit of time in that gym.
Yeah.
And you can be beyond dominant, and he's gotten there. Sometimes you have to remind him, like, you're allowed to score. I mean, I'm not joking. Like, you have to, you're right there. Like, you're allowed to go, score. And if you miss it, it's going to be just fine, So, but the block shots are awesome. It changes the game. He dictates the game. I mean, I don't know if you could tell last night, but we're confident with him and Caleb switching on the guards now. Just kind of playing in front of you, because if they're going to go make those shots over top of you for 40 minutes, then we're going to lose, and that's okay, right?
Yep.
But we're going to, we'll take our chances that we'll score some more down at the other end. And he just is a big disruptor defensively for us, for sure.
It's wild, man. I mean, you got a front row seat. I watch these guards and even some of the small forwards try to come into the paint, and they take a couple dribbles. They're like, I'm out of here. Because 32 is just waiting on them. They're like, nope, back out front.
Listen, it happens in practice too. I mean, like, it's almost like frustrating because you can't get anything done. I mean, I felt bad for Caleb. They go at it every day, and it's just frustrating, And but again, just another piece to the puzzle, man. A really big piece to it.
Mike Fuline is our guest on the Sam Bourquin Show, 1310 WDPN. We were fortunate enough. We got Cam was on our post-game interview show last night on the radio, and we were talking, and he says that I'm summarizing his words here, that Chris Knight is his personal shooting coach. And he says, God, we just love each other, man. We are tight. We love playing ball. And Chris, my gosh, he has so much talent. Yes. And you kind of got to rein him in a little bit because the minutes probably aren't there as much as you both would want them, but he looks like he's just taking everything in stride for you.
He is, and it's hard, especially when one of your buddies is getting out there a little bit, before you or whatever that is, and that's due to, him can being a point guard at times, and it stinks. Like there's just no way around it. But they get through the next month, man. The keys will be theirs to some extent, coming up here, and it's hard to wait, and I get it, but. I think that what those two do, and I'll throw Landon in there as well. They just work so hard. They love the game, and if they have another great summer in the weight room and just all their skill stuff, they're going to be tremendous players. I'm telling you, because they're great people.
Right, and that's where it all starts.
Yes,
you know that the way you recruit. You probably create too, but you get good people, and then you turn into great basketball players.
Yeah.
Couple quick ones here before we give you the quiz. Our guy Rick Hairston coming over now to be the women's flag football coach at Mount Union. How cool is that?
Listen, man, him and I are very good friends. We talk all the time, and so I kind of got somebody here in the higher ranks came and saw me and said, "Hey, what do you think about this?" And I started laughing. I'm like, absolutely, and we have a lot of young head coaches and assistants, and they're asking me, I'm like, listen, I'm saying I'm everyone's favorite. It ain't going to happen for much longer with him in the building, man. But, he's such a good man, and he's good for kids and students. And I think he's going to be an unbelievable asset here. He loves Mount Union. Mount Union loves him. I think we're just kind of waiting for a chance to get him in at some point, and that opportunity arose, and just pumped that he'll be. And we'll probably drive each other crazy, but that's all right. That'll be the fun part.
Coach is coming on, I think, Monday afternoon. We talked a little bit today. I'm looking forward to that. Also, as luck would have it today at 4:35, we're going to be talking to Kyle Young, and he's going to have his jersey retired at Jackson tomorrow night. And I know you're going to let a great, very fond memories of Kyle, and what a great kid and a great player and person he continues to be.
Just a great family. I coached his older brother, the first year I was there, and just a great family. And, I think sometimes, at Jackson, we don't celebrate success enough when it comes to these types of things. And for him to have that honor and that team to be a part of it and associated with it is great. I mean, I remember him first, second, third, fourth. I think I left when he was in sixth grade, and Logan Hill, that whole crew. And it's just a great group of young men. And that honor is something that he'll have with him forever and ever and ever. And he deserves it.
No doubt. Looking forward to catching up with Kyle here today. All right, here we go, Coach. Time for the quiz before we let you get back to work. Question number 1. If you had to listen to just one album for the rest of your life, which one would it be?
Oh, my goodness, man. That's a rough one. I would say if I had to listen to one, the mood I'm in a little bit today, probably the Pearl Jam album.
Okay.
That came out in the 90s. We were in college. It brings back great memories with me and my buddies. So I would say that. Tomorrow I'd probably pick something else.
All right, we'll go with the present. Question number 2. I can't wait to hear this one. What's the worst job you've ever had?
So the worst job I ever had, I've had some very difficult ones. When I was in college, landscaping, but we had to do it in Cleveland, and I was at Kent. So we'd have to get up at 5:30 in the morning and work till 6:30 at night. By the time you got home, we would get $2. It was called the Loft Pizza. They were $2 pizzas. So me and my buddy would get like 10 of those on Tuesday, and then we just heat it, and that'd be it was like, you sit back and you're like, man, did I really do what I thought I was going to do? Then I went to Youngstown State and cleaned a bar in the mornings and toilets and the whole 9 yards. Oh, brother, there was some rough ones, but makes you who you are, makes you appreciate things.
That's right. All right. Question number 3. a word that you always have had trouble spelling.
Man, a word that Cincinnati.
No kidding.
I mean, why? Why would I have trouble spelling that? But I'm always like, and listen, I was an English teacher for 14 years, but it like always kind of threw me. I've always been good with spelling, and I think my youngest son, I do Wordle pretty quickly, and he gets so frustrated, But man, that word, there's two N's in there, always kind of threw me off a little bit.
No kidding. All right, I'll keep that in mind down the road. All right.
Yeah.
Coach, always a pleasure. Congrats on the win last night, and we'll see you Saturday at the MAC, all right?
All right, my man. Thank you, buddy.
You bet. There he goes, Mike Fuline, head basketball coach of the Purple Raiders of the University of Mount Union. 3:55 is our time. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Whole lot more to get into. The 3-question Thursday quiz. We'll set the rest of the lineup for you, and a whole lot more. Stay with us.
High school basketball is on AM 1310 WDPN all season long. Brought to you by SARTA. I'm Christian Bigglesworth, calling boys and girls action from around the Eastern Buckeye Conference, the Alliance Aviators, the Marlington Dukes, and the West Branch Warriors. And this year, listen live and free on the AM 1310 WDPN Facebook and X pages and the Q92 YouTube channel. High school basketball, powered by SARTA on AM 1310 WDPN.
We are the keepers of the wild, America's original and most invested conservationists. For more than 80 years, we've been committed to conserving wildlife and the natural landscapes that define our nation. From rugged alpine ridgelines to peaceful tall grass prairies, we've supported the conservation of more than 36 million acres of American wildlands. Our funding has led to cleaner water, fresher air, and improved wildlife habitat. From abundant fish and waterfowl populations to robust deer and elk herds, nothing is more important than maintaining wild spaces for adventurers to explore and wildlife to thrive. We are America's hunters and target shooters, stewards of the American outdoors.
America's hunters and target shooters, along with firearm, ammunition, and archery manufacturers, have invested more than $46 billion to help state fish and wildlife agencies manage and protect wildlife and wildlands across America. For more information, visit outdoorstewards.org.
And we're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for and there they go. Almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hey,
1310 WDPN. Welcome back to the Sam Bourquin Show. Thanks to Coach Fuline for joining us here on the program. Mount the winner over Heidelberg last night to go to 21-2 on the year. A lot of basketball to be played. If you can, get on over to the MAC Center. It's senior day. Come on over Saturday. The tip-off is set for 1 p.m. We got about a minute before we get to the top of the hour, news and weather. On the other side, we'll talk a little Buckeye basketball with Adam Jardy from the Columbus Dispatch. O-State with a winner over USC last night. A win that they really needed, like to stay on the right side of the bubble, if you will. We'll check in with Adam Jardy coming up here at 4:10. Kyle Young will join us at 4:35. Kyle's going to have his jersey retired tomorrow night at Jackson High School. Looking forward to our conversation with Kyle Young at 4:35. 3-question Thursday quiz. Get those comments in on our chat, on the Facebook pages, and of course, AM 1310 WDPN on X and Facebook as well. Question number 1. If you had to listen to one album for the rest of your life, which one would it be? Question number 2, what's the worst job you've ever had? Question 3, a word you always have trouble spelling. Get those in. Let's have a little fun here on this Thursday afternoon. The news and weather is next. Stay right where you are.
News, weather, sports, local information, and music 24 hours a day. This is AM 1310 WDPN Alliance.
ABC News, I'm Mike Dabusky. The Trump administration is rolling back an Obama-era environmental rule called the endangerment finding, which dictates emission standards for cars and industrial plants. The president speaking at the White House this afternoon.
This action will eliminate over $1.3 trillion of regulatory costs and help bring car prices tumbling down dramatically.
Several environmental scientists say the move could speed up the negative effects of climate change. Several health groups say they're planning to sue. Senator Mark Kelly is responding to a federal judge's decision to block the Pentagon's attempt to punish him for a video. That video shows him and other Democrats saying U.S. troops can choose not to follow illegal orders.
This isn't about me. This is about an administration that is out of control on so many different levels.
The Pentagon had been seeking to diminish Kelly's rank from captain to something lower. This is ABC News.
It's tax time, y'all. If you want to file free, this next one's for you.
Now taxes is so free. Tax free edition only, roughly 37% of filings qualify. Simple form 1040 returns only. This is tax.
Love that jam. Up next, commercials.
And to get TurboTax free edition, see if you qualify at turbotax.com/free. No schedules except for earned income tax credit, child tax credit, student loan interest, and Schedule 1A.
Deep discounts on home updates are arriving at Macy's stores right now. Come in for huge President's Day deals, like 20 to 65% off a total bedroom refresh. Think Sealy and Beauty Rest mattresses, warm, cozy comforter sets, and so much more, all for up to 65% off. And then you can splurge on something extra fun, like 30% off a new pair of Levi's. See you at Macy's President's Day sale today. Savings off select prices. Exclusions apply.
Now, the latest Alliance area news from Jeff Mears on AM 1310 WDPN.
Good afternoon. It's 4:02. State Fire Marshal investigators are asking for help identifying suspects in 2 Jackson Township cases. The fires, ruled as arson, occurred in carports at 2 apartment complexes. The first was on Tuesday in the 4800 block of South Boulevard Northwest. The second the following day in the 5600 block of Lassiter Street Northwest. Several vehicles were destroyed and 1 person suffered minor injuries. A reward of up to $5,000 is being offered for information leading to an arrest and conviction. Anyone with information should call the State Fire Marshal's tip line at 1-800-589-2728 or Jackson Township Police at 330-832-1553. A Massillon man is in custody after allegedly attacking family members Tuesday. 28-year-old Justin Broach is charged with felonious assault and domestic violence. He allegedly stabbed his grandmother in the head in the 2200 block of Lincoln Way West and threatened his cousin with a knife. He was arrested the same day and arraigned today in Massillon Municipal Court. Broach pleaded not guilty and bond was set at $200,000. His preliminary hearing is scheduled for February 19th. Broach had a felony conviction last year. Canton City Council is moving to make annexation a requirement for new city water service. Under the proposal, residents in townships bordering Canton would have to join the city before getting water hookups or transferring accounts. Council says this will balance infrastructure costs so city taxpayers aren't subsidizing services for township residents. A waiver could be granted, but council can override it. The repository reports Plain Township officials claim the plan targets townships and call for annexation reform. The ordinance is expected to be introduced at the February 23rd meeting. A Canton Township woman is behind bars following a May 2025 crash that sent her and her 9-year-old daughter to the hospital. 35-year-old Kristen Eagle was arrested Wednesday on warrants, charging her with aggravated vehicular assault and endangering children. Her arraignment is set for tomorrow in Canton Municipal Court. The Highway Patrol says Eagle was driving south on Kiefer Avenue Southwest in Pike Township when her SUV ran off the road and struck a culvert and 2 trees. Her daughter suffered a broken leg and both were transported to Mercy Hospital. Alcohol and marijuana were suspected. Strong fourth quarter results for Diebold Nixdorf, with revenue reaching $1.1 billion. That's up nearly 12% year over year. The North Canton-based company says adjusted earnings were $164 million. Diebold Nixdorf also more than doubled free cash flow in 2025 to $239 million and reported full-year adjusted earnings per share of $5.59. Major global contracts were signed, new ATMs launched, and growth continues in both banking and retail segments. The company expects 2026 revenue between $3.86 and $3.94 billion. A man has pled guilty in Portage County Common Pleas Court to multiple charges involving sexual abuse of minors. 30-year-old Anthony Lopez of Ashtabula entered pleas to gross sexual imposition and child endangering February 5th, with other charges dropped. Prosecutors say victims were as young as 6, and incidents occurred from 2014 to 2023. Lopez is classified as a sexually violent predator. A judge ordered a pre-sentence investigation. He faces 5 years probation and potential additional prison time for violations. The East Palestine School District has dismissed its federal lawsuit against Norfolk Southern Railway after a partial $750,000 settlement. $150,000 will cover school closures and staff costs during the 2023 train derailment, and $600,000 is for communication and marketing. The suit concerned unpaid promises for emergency use of school buildings. The district says it still plans to pursue other claims, including funding for a $30 million community center and reimbursement for lost tax revenue. A Sebring woman is in jail facing multiple charges after a violent incident at her home. 62-year-old Dawn McDonald was arrested Tuesday on warrants for aggravated arson, assault, aggravated menacing, having weapons under disability, and disorderly conduct. She is being held without bond, with a preliminary hearing in Mahoning County Court set for February 26th. Police say on February 2nd, officers responded to her East Oregon Avenue home after her husband reported she was making suicidal threats and endangering others. McDonald allegedly resisted EMS and police, set an officer's hair on fire, and threatened to detonate an oxygen tank. During the chaos, her husband suffered a self-inflicted gunshot wound and died at the hospital. The Sebring School District will soon have a new superintendent, as Tony Viscount announces she will retire effective July 31st to spend more time with family. Viscount has led the district since 2014. The Board of Education is accepting applications until February 20th and plans to interview candidates later this month, with a successor expected in March. This comes after April Habiger was hired as assistant treasurer and will replace Don Welsh, who is retiring after nearly 9 years on May 1st. A woman has been acquitted in a 2023 Youngstown shooting case. 29-year-old Robin Johnson of Boardman was found not guilty Wednesday of discharging a firearm near prohibited premises and 2 counts of felonious assault, including gun specifications. Mahoning County prosecutors claimed she shot a woman in the shoulder, striking her lung, and argued self-defense didn't apply. Johnson's attorney said she fired after being attacked during a confrontation on South Avenue. A man is dead following a Wednesday night shooting in Warren. Police were called just after 11 to an apartment complex near Mahoning Avenue and Hall Street for a reported shooting. The Trumbull County coroner confirmed 1 male victim died. His name has not been released. The incident is under investigation. It's 27 degrees in Alliance at 4:07. This is the local edition of WDPN News. I'm Jeff Mears.
This WDPN weather is brought to you by Canterbury Villa of Alliance, where your loved ones become family. Schedule a free visit today by calling 330-821-4000. Dry weather for your Thursday afternoon. Cloudy skies, maybe a peak of sunshine here and there, a high of 28 degrees. Overnight, we'll start off cloudy. We'll clear you out by dawn. Our low near 15. From the 3 News Weather Center, I'm Mark Johnson.
Send your loved ones to a place that cares and a place that they can trust. They'll find a place that feels like home at Canterbury Villa in Alliance. They will provide the highest level of care to their residents when it comes to skilled nursing, rehabilitation, long-term care, and Alzheimer's care. At Canterbury Villa, your loved ones become family. Located on Freshley Avenue, schedule a free visit today by calling 330-821-4000 and ask for Samantha Nutter. At Canterbury Villa, they walk the talk.
Live from the AM1310 WDPN studio, it's time for live and local sports talk. It's the Sam Bourquin Show.
I'm ready.
Give the show a call at 330-821-1310.
Good call, meatball.
Watch the Sam Bourquin Show on the AM1310 Facebook page, the Q92 YouTube page, and on X. This is the Sam Bourquin Show on AM1310 WDPN.
He wears number 1. Welcome to Cleveland, James Harden!
shovel back to Harden. Once more to Merrill. He doesn't hesitate. Oh, goodness. Sam Merrill is putting on a show. 20% of the Wizards' 15-man roster speaks French. Koulibaly. Whoa, is Allen down the lane. He does.
6-0 run. They trap Arenas and they get the turnover. 2-on-1. Bynum and Thornton. Bynum throws it down.
Solid box out.
Thornton gets his man in the air. Now kicks it for Johnson. And Puff Johnson gets the three, and Ohio State has its largest lead of the game.
Welcome back, everybody. The Sam Bourquin Show, AM1310 WDPN. Welcome into the Thursday edition of the show. 330-821-1310 is our telephone number. That's 330-821-1310. Don't forget you can watch and listen on all of our WDPN social media platforms on Twitter, X, Facebook, and, of course, the Q92 Radio YouTube channel where we've got the chat alive and well. We appreciate all the interaction there, and we'll get to those coming up here in just a bit. Also, it's a 3-question Thursday. Question number 1 today. If you had to listen to just one album for the rest of your life, which one would it be? Question 2. What's the worst job you've ever had? And question number 3, a word that you always have trouble spelling. Get those comments in on the social media platforms, and we'll dive into them here in just a little bit. Thanks to Mike Fuline, head basketball coach of the University of Mount Union, for joining us earlier in the program. And don't forget, former Jackson Polar Bear and former Buckeye Kyle Young going to join us 4:35 today. Kyle's going to have his jersey retired tomorrow night at Jackson High School. Looking forward to catching up with Kyle today as well. And speaking of Buckeyes, thought we would try to reach out to Adam Jardy. Does a great job as the beat reporter of the Ohio State men's basketball team. They got a crucial win at home last night against Southern Cal, and I think we're on the good side of the bubble. Maybe. We'll find out. Let's bring in Adam Jardy from the Columbus Dispatch here on the Sam Bourquin Show. Adam, good afternoon. How you doing today, partner?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. I gotta be full honesty here. We had a little discussion on the show yesterday or the day before about Ohio State men's basketball, and you know the trials and tribulations and the ups and the downs, and then a story popped out yesterday that you could get in for last night for $7 with fees included. And I thought, oh my God, we have reached rock bottom here. I am angry. I said, I'm going to reach out to Adam. We're going to talk Ohio State and see if we can get this figured out. Then they go and they win the game last night. They drew a little bit more, almost 12,000 in the building last evening. And I thought, well, okay, we'll make this a positive conversation here. And how big of a win was that last night for the Buckeye basketball team as we jog our way through the month of February?
I mean, I think certainly the win itself was important. I think equally important was just not taking a loss in that game, because like beating USC ultimately isn't going to be the thing that would put them in the tournament, but losing to them could have been the thing that would keep them out at this point. It's a team that very similar metrics, very similar in the standings, very similar in like all the predictive stuff that would tell you who will and will not make the tournament. And, you know, at the end of the day, like if there are 10 Big Ten teams that are fighting to get into the NCAA tournament, or if 10 Big Ten teams get in, it might be between Ohio State and USC for like one of the last two spots.
Yeah.
So when you have an opportunity like that head to head against a team that is in very similar bubble situations, like you have to take advantage of that. And having the Trojans at the Schottenstein Center, like you got them on your home court, like that was a game Ohio State needed to win to keep its hopes alive. So still work to do, but certainly in a much better spot than if they'd have lost yesterday.
No doubt. It was a weird game. SC goes up early. Yes. Ohio State fights back. They get a lead. Here come the Trojans. It had to hold on pretty much down to the last minute or so in that 89-82 win. Bruce Thornton, 21 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals. I mean, I don't know where they'd be without that young man. If you could, Adam, the specialty of Bruce Thornton and what he means to this program.
Boy, that would take us a while to, I think, really dive into. I mean, like with him, what I consistently come back to is like I mean, you and I have talked about this for the last several years, where like it's a transient sport now. Like people don't stay at a school for more than a year or 2 years, and people certainly don't stay when they're high-level contributors. Like people move on. That's what college athletics has become. And I think, for a guy in this era to spend 4 years at one school and to be a high-level contributor all 4 years, I mean, I don't know that we'll ever see another Bruce Thornton under this current sort of landscape that we're in right now. I mean, not only did he have all those numbers, like you mentioned last night, he scored the last 9 points of the game and helped put the Trojans away. He got the free throw line, hit his free throws, did the things that you expect a senior, captain leader to do for a team. He also passed Kelvin Ramsey for 5th place all time in the career scoring list at Ohio State.
That.
I mean, he's 40 points right now behind Will Buford and Jerry Lucas are both tied for 3rd. So, like, the fact that Ohio State at the end of the season is going to be saying goodbye to the first 4-time captain in program history and potentially the all-time leading scorer. I mean, that is very much like in the realm of possibilities for Bruce Thornton. It's significant, and what he's meant to the program and all the things that he's done in these 4 years are incredibly impactful. And I don't know what this would look like without him. I can't really even close my eyes and picture it right now.
That you brought up those two names. Gosh, I grew up. I was just a kid. I remember watching Kelvin Ramsey play over at St. John under Eldon Miller, and I looked and said, "Okay, I'm going to look at the top 10 here." And Deshaun Thomas at 10. You talk Jay Burson at 9, Jimmy Jackson at 8, Michael Redd 7, Kelvin at 6, Bruce Thornton now 5, and then William Buford, Jerry Lucas, Herb Williams, and then Dennis Hobson. That is a who's who of college basketball right there.
Yeah, and it was neat last night, post-game. Like, Jay Diebler talked about that a little bit, and just the fact that, like, he would like the fans to also, like, take some appreciation for the names that he is passing.
Yeah.
And when you think about, like, who some of these guys are and how impactful they've been to Ohio State basketball, like, yeah, there's some significant names on this list that Bruce is going past. And I do think it is pretty cool to, like, take a moment and kind of reflect on who some of these dudes are and how amazing their careers ended up becoming, because yeah, these aren't just, Joe basketball player. Like, there's some legends that are on this list, and Bruce Thornton is putting his name right there with all of them.
No doubt. Adam Jardy is our guest, beat reporter for the Buckeye basketball team from the Columbus Dispatch, taking some time here with us on 1310 WDPN. We mentioned Bruce, of course, a team effort last night. Bobley goes 13-3. Royal 19-7, Bynum 11-3, Tilley 9-2, but he only played 22 minutes last night. Outside of Bruce Thornton, who was the go-getter last night for Ohio State when they needed him most?
Devin Royal. I thought this was his most impactful game he's played in a little while, his most consistent game. He had 7 rebounds. They were all defensive rebounds. Just was effective on the glass. They talked so much about, like, aggression and physicality and defensive rebounding, especially coming out of that Michigan loss. And I thought Devin really responded in a big way and looked like the player that, we kind of expected him to always look like coming into his junior year. It's been a bit of an adjustment for him, playing a little bit more on the perimeter. But not only did he have the 7 defensive rebounds, but I think he was 8 of 8 from 2-point range, hit a couple mid-range jumpers, was able to draw some contact, get to the line a couple of times. And I just thought played a really significant all-around game. So it wasn't just like, yeah, Bruce had the last 9 points there in the last minute 34, but Bruce and Devin combined for, I think it was like 15 of the last 17 points of the game. So he was big down the stretch. I thought he was impactful on the glass, and, again, kind of showed like how important he is to this team's success. Because when he plays well, everything seems to look a little bit better for Ohio State.
Puff Johnson, 15 minutes last night, scored 8 points. He did get four fouls, but talk about Puff, if you would, and what they're kind of hoping to get out of him the rest of the way.
Well, the first thing they're hoping for is that he does remain with them the rest of the way. His temporary restraining order that allowed him to join the team is, for lack of a better term, being like fully evaluated. It's still a legal process that's playing out, and they should get a final answer sometime early next week. But Puff Johnson spent about 5.5 hours at a Franklin County court on Thursday, like missed shoot around and things like that because his case was finally being heard. So kind of a wild day for Puff. When he is fully available, and like as he kind of works his way back into things, like, you know, they really believe he's a guy who can make a legitimate difference. And you're talking about someone who a couple years ago played the national championship game for North Carolina,
right,
and played really well. I mean, he's big, he's athletic, he's long. He can shoot, as we saw last night. I mean, he hit one from, I don't know, Bucyrus on a busted play. And they've really praised like his ability to fit in with the team and his ability to, you know, not ruffle feathers, because you're adding a player to the rotation in January and February. Like, not only is this unprecedented, but you really do risk messing up team chemistry. And this is a pretty tight knit Ohio State team. I've been impressed with how well he has apparently fit in, and he gives them another dimension. He gives them another guy who's been around, who has played at the highest level of the sport, and can be you can reasonably expect daily contributions from him, and that's a step forward for this Ohio State bench.
Adam Jardy is our guest from the Columbus Dispatch. All right, Adam, we've got 7 games left. There are some tough ones: Virginia, Wisconsin, Sparty. You go to Iowa. Purdue comes to Columbus, at Penn State, home against Indiana. How many do the Buckeyes need to get there to be on the right side of the bubble before the Big Ten tournament?
Well, I think if we assume that they win the Penn State game, because that's the one game left on the resume that, even though it's a road game, it's not going to really move the needle unless you lose it.
Right.
So if Ohio State loses that game, it kind of changes the mathematics of this whole situation. But if we assume that they win that game, because they should, I think they probably need 3 more out of that mix, because most of those are going to be quad 1 opportunities.
Yep.
And oddly enough, Ohio State picked up a quad 1 opportunity last night because Northwestern played Michigan close, and then the win against Northwestern back in December is now a quad 1 win for Ohio State. So the Buckeyes have 1 right now. That could change with the next refreshing of the rankings tomorrow. We'll see. But you would certainly like to remove any doubt. So I think from that mix of those remaining 6 games that aren't Penn State, if you go 3-3, I think you're pretty comfortably in. Anything less than that, and it will certainly be a sweaty palm situation on Selection Sunday.
No doubt. Then you might have to really make a deep run in the Big Ten tournament just to get enough to get you over there. But man, Sparty on the road is going to be a bear. Purdue is going to be tough. Virginia, a rare late non-conference game here at a neutral site. Virginia's a solid program. That's the next big game, right, coming up for Ohio State.
Yeah, and that's a really fascinating one, because you are stepping out of conference for one game here and playing a different style and playing someone that you're not super intimately familiar with, and so it's an interesting opportunity for Ohio State. It's something that the Buckeyes wanted to do this offseason to better prepare themselves for the tournament. And you're seeing some more teams start to do this, like Michigan and Duke are doing it this year. Last year we saw Illinois play Duke, and it did not go well for the Illini. I think it was the biggest loss in program history. They played at Madison Square Garden, and Duke kind of wiped the floor with them. But when we talked to Jake Diebler about this earlier in the week, he said he talked to John Shire and Brad Underwood, and they both swore by it. They thought it was really good for their team to take a high major game out of conference and squeeze it into their league play. And they believe it had significant benefits for their team. So it's actually the story I'm writing for tomorrow at dispatch.com about why they're playing this game. But it's interesting. And I do think, we don't really, I don't know that Ohio State fans or, too many of us up here necessarily have a great idea of what Virginia looks like, because we're so dialed into Big Ten play. So I would assume that probably, maybe that bodes well for Ohio State too, that you're getting a team that doesn't it just isn't quite as familiar with you, I guess.
Adam Jardy, our guest beat writer for the Buckeye basketball team, does a great job with the Columbus Dispatch. Check him out on all of his social media platforms as well. For those who are interested, Virginia 21-3. This game is coming up in Nashville, and it's going to be live on Fox. So the pretty big stage for the Buckeyes there. All right, I almost hate to ask this question, but I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't. If things go sideways here, Adam, down the stretch, what do you think the status of Jake Diebler would be?
I mean, I guess it would depend on how sideways we're talking here, but, I don't believe that they hired him with the expectation that, like, everything was going to go 100 miles an hour perfectly great from day one. That, when you do hire a first-year coach, like, there's an inherent learning curve that comes with that. And for as frustrating as maybe it's been that this team hasn't made the tournament here in a while, and I certainly feel that and understand that, they've been, last year they came one game short, and this year they're right in the running as well. And certainly Ohio State fans expect, like, more sustained levels of success, and they don't want to just make the tournament. They want to have deep runs, and that is the expectation at Ohio State. But it's also not Jake Diebler's fault that they didn't make it the years before that. And it's not Jake Diebler's fault that, like, the last 10, 13 years have kind of been what they've been. So I do think that they're in a situation where they are behind from an NIL standpoint, like significantly behind in the Big Ten. So they've had to sort of make do with that the best that they can. They're in the running to get back to the tournament for the first time, and they've missed it the last 3 years. They got a McDonald's All-American coming in next year, like a strong recruiting class, and really talented players they believe they're going to retain. And so I think it would have to really go sideways for this not to at least get a third year. So that's just kind of where I see it right now. I certainly understand the frustrations and people that want things to be better, especially when you see Michigan dominating the world in basketball.
Yeah, they are.
Like, I understand those frustrations. Absolutely. But I also think that, like, you don't commit to a first year coach and then things are going pretty well. Maybe just you'd like them to be a little better. I don't know that you pull the plug after 2 years.
It'll be interesting, especially with the schedule coming up. If they could, sneak a couple extra out of that, I think that they may be on their way to a good finish here. Hey, safe travels down to Nashville. We'll see if they can get a big W down there, and Adam will be in touch. Always appreciate the time. Thanks, pal.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Good to talk to you.
You bet. Adam Jardy, beat writer for the Buckeye basketball team, does an incredible job for the Columbus Dispatch. We're going to take a break. We'll come back with more on 1310 WDPN.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-498-2098 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as 1 day. Just dial 1-800-498-2098 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-498-2098 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
Thanks to Adam Jardy for the Buckeye Sports Bulletin. Gosh darn it, I keep saying Buckeye Sports Bulletin. Columbus Dispatch. Thank you, Adam. Don't hold that against me. All right, it's time for Sammy's Best Bet. We have run into a little conundrum here. I picked out my game this morning. I sent all the artwork and my picks over to Rainsburg. He's got it all ready to go. I just checked the latest number, and Vegas has taken it off the board. I don't know what's going on here. We were going to go with North Texas tonight, plus 2.5 against Memphis. You're thinking, why are you picking that game? Well, there's not that many college games to pick from tonight. The NBA is getting ready for the All-Star break coming up. You don't want to ever touch those games before everybody goes away. So I said, okay, I like this little home dog. North Texas, 4-6 in their last 10. Memphis, 6-4. They've won 2 in a row. Game's on ESPN. I'll give this a shot. All right, we'll take North Texas plus 2.5. But they've taken it off the board in a lot of the books. So I don't know what the situation is there. We'll roll with it for now, and we'll see what happens. So it'll be a big surprise for all of us. But we're gonna stay with it. North Texas plus 2.5 tonight against Memphis. Now, if I find out something really crazy happened, like the coach got fired or 5 kids got in trouble for, I don't know, taking food from the cafeteria, then we'll get off of that. But for the time being, we'll take the Mean Green plus 2.5 tonight against Memphis. Sammy's best bet. News, weather next. 1310.
The latest news and the current Alliance area weather forecast are up next on AM 1310 WDPN.
Good afternoon. It's 4:30. It's been 12 days since Nancy Guthrie was last seen at her home, and it has now been a full week since authorities have spoken publicly about their investigation. There are promising images and apparently lots of tips, but no suspect and no sign of Guthrie. Here's ABC News Chief Investigative Correspondent Aaron Kontursky in Arizona with the latest.
The search for Nancy Guthrie expands through the Catalina foothills, where investigators are combing through roadside brush, drainage basins, and neighboring properties. A local television station quoted the sheriff saying they found 2 black gloves that are now being tested to see if there's a connection to the figure wearing gloves on Nancy Guthrie's doorstep.
Ukrainian skeleton racer Vladislav Herskovich is out of the Milan Cortina Games after he refused to stop wearing a banned tribute helmet. IOC President Kirsty Coventry met him at the track before the men's race for a private talk to make a last-minute plea, but Herskovich refused to change his stance. His helmet shows the faces of more than 20 Ukrainian athletes and coaches killed in the war with Russia. The IOC says the helmet breaks rules against political statements in competition. Coventry wept as she discussed the decision with reporters. Russia has attacked Ukrainian cities again overnight as Ukraine accuses Russia of dragging its feet on new U.S.-brokered peace talks. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says Washington is proposing talks next week in Miami or in Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates. He says Ukraine confirms it can attend, but Russia is hesitating. Zelensky says major disputes still block a deal, including issues of occupied land and security guarantees. He also says Russia is ignoring a proposed ceasefire that affects the energy sector. Ukraine's Air Force said today that Russia fired drones and missiles at cities including Kyiv, Kharkiv, and Odessa. Officials report injuries, damaged homes, and major heating outages in the Ukrainian capital. A rebuke of President Trump's tariff policies on Canada as 6 Republicans in the House joined nearly all Democrats, passing a resolution that would undo those tariffs. Republicans Don Bacon, Brian Fitzpatrick, Dan Newhouse, Jeff Hurd, Thomas Massey, and Kevin Kiley voted yes. One Democrat, Jared Golden, voted no with the rest of Republicans. More from ABC's Jay O'Brien.
This vote is largely symbolic. Even if the legislation passes the Senate, President Trump would almost certainly veto it. But it's a critical moment because a handful of GOP lawmakers are vocalizing rare unease with a centerpiece of the president's economic policy, particularly Trump's legal justification for these tariffs, declaring a national emergency at the Canadian border over drug trafficking and illegal migration. And several lawmakers pointing out that a tariff is a tax on imported goods. And under the Constitution, only Congress is allowed to impose new taxes.
It's 26 degrees in Alliance at 4:32. This is WDPN News. I'm Jeff Mears.
This Q92 weather is brought to you by Grove Appliance Furniture and Mattress. Local, trusted, and family-owned for 90 years. With a huge selection of appliances, furniture, and mattresses to go with unmatched customer service. 28 degrees for your Thursday high. It's going to be a little chilly out there through the afternoon hours. Some sunshine mixing with a lot of clouds. Now, overnight, cloudy skies to start. We'll clear it out by dawn. Our low near 15. Bundle up. I am Mark J. Weather from 3 News.
Rediscover the comfort of home with Grove Appliance Furniture and Mattress, your hometown spot for comfort, quality, and style. From sleek new appliances that make life easier to furniture that actually fits the way you live, Grove helps you create a space that feels like home. And with hundreds of fabric options, you can make it completely your own. Don't forget about their design center. If you're looking for a complete overhaul, they can help you with all of it, from cabinets and countertops to backsplashes and sleek appliances. Their local team takes time to find out exactly what you need. No pressure, no guessing, just honest advice and real service. And if you're upgrading on a budget, check out Grove's Scratch and Dent Room, where small imperfections mean big savings on top brands. Because when your home feels right, everything else just works. Grove Appliance Furniture and Mattress. Hometown comfort. Made simple.
Come see us at Grove, where it always feels like home.
1310 WDPN. Welcome back to the Sam Bourquin Show. 4:35 on your Thursday afternoon. 330-821-1310. Don't forget you can watch and listen on all of our social media platforms, WDPN Facebook, X, Twitter, and of course the Q92 Radio YouTube channel. Get those comments in as well. 3-question Thursday quiz today. Question number 1, if you had to listen to one album for the rest of your life, which one would you pick? Question 2, what's the worst job you've ever had? Question number 3, what is one word you always have trouble spelling? Get those comments in. We'll work them into the show here. I want to thank Mount Union head basketball coach Mike Fuline for joining us in the 3 o'clock hour. And thanks to the beat writer for the Ohio State men's basketball team, Adam Jardy from the Columbus Dispatch, for spending some time with us as well. All right, I'm excited about this next interview. Kind of goes along with our theme today a little bit. And Kyle Young is joining us here on the Sam Bourquin Show, 1310 WDPN. Outstanding basketball player at Jackson, at Butler, finished things up at The Ohio State University. And Kyle's going to have his number retired at Jackson tomorrow night as the Polar Bears take the floor over at Jackson High School. Kyle, thanks for coming on today, partner. How you doing this afternoon?
Absolutely. I'm doing great. I appreciate you having me.
Oh, you bet, man. I've been looking forward to this. It's such a big deal. You know, when I still go over to Jackson and I call games, I always look over at that one wall and I see Jamie Bosley's number up there. I see Taylor Mikesell's number up there, and old 35 is going to go up there tomorrow. How are you feeling about that, and how cool is that for you?
Yeah, man. I mean, you just mentioned 2 great names, 2 people I know very well, Jamie and Taylor, and you know, it's exciting. I just feel blessed to, you know, even be in the position I am now. And, you know, when I first found out about it, I, you know, immediately, you know, obviously told my family, and it's just special, you know, to have that number up there forever. Come tomorrow night is a very special thing, and I'm thankful for it.
Kyle, when did you find out? Who told you, and like, what was like the immediate reaction for you?
It was Coach Sabevic.
Okay.
So yeah, he came to me. This was, you know, a few months ago, or about a month and a half, 2 months ago, when it was kind of decided, when it was finalized, and yeah, I was just excited. You know, I was, when I say surprised, is because, you know, he had mentioned it before, but really didn't know, you know, if it was going to happen or when it was going to happen. But like I said, just grateful, and, you know, grateful for him and this program and this community, and yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, I mean, one of the best to ever do it at Jackson. Of course, your tremendous collegiate career, and gosh, you know, you're in a there's not a lot of kids out there that I don't, and even I'm talking about the entire country, that have their numbers retired at their high school. And I'm sure if I was able to look down the road, I would see, holy cow, that's some pretty big names at whatever school we're talking about. And I'm sure they went on to have great college careers, and some, of course, made it to the NBA. Obviously, you excelled in basketball. At one point early in your life, Kyle, did you kind of figure it out. The light went on, and you said, boy, if I work at this, I can really do some special stuff?
Yeah, that's a great question. I played multiple sports growing up, was around sports my whole life with my older siblings playing. My brother was basketball, my sister was basketball, but they also played other things, football and baseball and softball. So I was always around sports, knew I loved them, enjoyed them. I was athletic, but, heading into more so middle school time is when I decided to give up baseball and football. When I got to school ball time, and I kind of just decided to, set my focus on basketball. And then, going into freshman year was really when it kind of clicked for me. Like, this is what I want to do. I'm going to put all my time into it. And, if I work hard enough, I can probably do something with this one day. So I'd say around that time was really when it kind of hit me, and I went all in after that.
The last time I checked your height weight stats, they had you at 6'8", about 225, 230. When you were growing up, were you always tall? Did you like shoot up out of nowhere? How was that? What was that like?
Yeah, I was always, relatively taller than most of my teammates growing up, but I did have two growth spurts throughout my life that kind of, made a big difference. One when I was younger, but then one going into high school too, between freshman and sophomore year, was when I kind of shot up to 6'6", 6'7", and then kind of finished out at 6'8" there. So definitely in high school there was my last growth spurt was a big one, helped me, get to where I am now. And then the weight came on later though. That's when I got to Ohio State and really started focusing on my body. Was when I put on the muscle. So, man,
I gotta ask, where did the hops come from, my man? Where? I mean, you could rise. Where'd that come from?
Yeah, a lot of hard work, man. I don't know. Good genetics, a lot of hard work. That was one thing, in my earlier years that I spent a lot of summer time focusing on was my jumping ability. So, my brother, I don't know if you knew my brother, Mark.
Mark, yep.
Yeah, from back in the day, he could jump too. So, I think it runs in the family a little bit, but definitely a lot of hard work and a lot of time spent, in the weight room and working on that to be able to do it. So,
Kyle Young is our guest, former Polar Bear, Buckeye, joining us here on the Sam Bourquin Show, AM1310 WDPN. Kyle's going to have his number 35 retired tomorrow night. It's going to go on the wall at Jackson High School. If you're out and about tomorrow, you want to see some hoops and a pretty cool little celebration, to get on over to Jackson tomorrow night and take that all in. They're supposed to tip around 6:45, 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Obviously, a tremendous career, Kyle, at Jackson and the state championship down in Columbus. And I was lucky enough to call that game and had such a ball watching you guys and your teammates and your coaches and the community just all come together. I know you've talked about this a lot, but gosh, it seems like it was yesterday, but it was a few years ago. What kind of memories do you really kind of focus in on with that group? And was there a guy on the team that year that was kind of like an unsung hero that helped you guys win the whole thing?
Talk about memories. There's a lot of them, on and off the court with that group. We all grew up together. I think that's what, made that group so special.
Mm-hmm.
Big senior class, we stuck together. We were playing since third grade together. And to talk about just like time spent off the court, that's who we hung out with, was each other. And, obviously that helped us with chemistry on the court. But that whole state run, especially, I think, if you asked any of us, we all have multiple different memories to pull from, especially that night, when we won it, and just kind of it all coming together for us. Like, this is what, we've been working for, and, all that good stuff. But talk about unsung hero. Like, after that game, I specifically remember just talking about the rest of the team, because, I didn't have the best scoring offensive game. That state final game, I had a great semifinal, in terms of, my offense, but it came down to, what made us so great over all the years was just how deep we were, and, collectively how well we played together. So really just everybody else, how well we played together, how we played off each other really was the difference maker. And again, just talk about how special that team was. That's another reason.
Yeah, and of course, you had to go through the Wild Federal League, and then you're going through the tournament, and Man, you guys didn't have any easy road, especially when you got to the regional title and then down to Columbus, and you're going up against a Moeller team in the finals, and just figuring out a way to win. And there was so many Jackson people down there that night. And you remember what it was like as the clock was kind of ticking down there at the end, and it kind of just were you able to soak that all in on the floor?
Yeah, I tried to after the fact because as it's happening, you never really know how a moment like that's going to go, or you can try to, visualize it. But once you experience it, like, it's almost like everything kind of blacks out for a second. When that final buzzer sounded, remember in the final play, I was opposite side of the hoop, and, the ball hit the backboard and fell in my hands as the buzzer went off. And, I just dropped it and just immediately sprinted towards the team, not really knowing exactly what I wanted to do yet. But after we kind of got done jumping around, and Coach Purdue had me in a headlock for about 30 seconds.
There's a shock.
I was able to, really just take some time, get down on the floor for a second and try to just, like you said, soak it all in, because obviously that was the only time that was going to happen at that point. So, special moment. Just looking back on it now, looking at, pictures, videos, reliving it. It's always pretty cool.
I'd forgot you were the last one to have the ball at the end of the game. And I don't know, Kyle, if that would have been me, I'd have taken that ball and found a bag to stuff it in and put it on the bus and keep that thing, man. That would have been really cool. But of course, you're in the heat of the moment. You want to go celebrate with your friends, because at the end of the day, and you mentioned, starting third grade, fourth grade with all the guys. There's nothing like that. And that was cool that you could be a part of that kind of a celebration. Kyle Young is our guest, former Jackson Polar Bear Buckeye. Little stop at Butler on the way. Come over with Coach Holtman a little bit later on, and finished up at Ohio State. Kyle, of course, now you're on the bench. You got the purple and white on. You're helping with Coach DeBevick and Coach Wasity and Coach Purdue. And what has that been like for you to come back and be on the bench and watch this thing unfold and help guys along the way?
It's been great, and I thank the coaching staff for bringing me on board, Coach DeBevick, having that conversation with me, and starting as of, last year, I was just kind of volunteering, and now, actually being on staff. It's been great to be back where it all started, just to share, I guess, my experiences and knowledge of the game with these young players, and, just try to do anything I can help, but just to be back here and be a part of the program, and, part of a place that, just think this community, this high school, everything about it, this basketball program is, it's awesome. It's very family-like culture. So yeah, being back here has been fantastic, and I'm happy to be where I'm at.
Of course, it's been about 10 years since you graduated from Jackson.
Yeah, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. So I was going to ask, has it only being 10 years, but have you noticed any changes in the way that the high school basketball has maybe changed in a direction or other, especially in Stark County or Northeast Ohio, since you've been back doing it?
It's hard to tell. I feel like there's so many moving parts constantly, just depending on the league and, what kind of guys you got coming through, and, if there's coaching changes across the league, or, whatever it might be. I feel like there's always moving parts, but the Federal League's still a tough league. You got to come ready to play every night, especially being Jackson too. We still notice that, I feel like we get everybody's best shot. So, it's just been nice to be back and experience this all again with these guys, and try to, share the experience I had, to give them any advice or tips on, what I think can help, for now and down the road. So, I still think it's pretty similar. It's competitive. There's always moving parts, though.
Yeah, well, the crazy world we live in now, of course, you've got NIL in high school sports now in the state of Ohio. It's going wild in college. I got to ask, Kyle Young at Ohio State, what kind of cheddar would you be pulling down now if you were back playing then?
That's a great question. I leave that up to you guys to speculate.
Millions? We're talking millions, right?
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people, ask me that question and make comments, and I just tell them, listen, hey, everything happens for a reason. I don't want to think about it too much. I leave it up to you guys to speculate. Can
you imagine it at the high school level now? I think it's crazy. I mean, everybody's got their own different situation, but did you ever think that there would be high school kids would get paid for their name, image, and likeness?
It's like back in the day, you think you think of say a top 5 kid or in the country, you would think, there was something going on in the behind the scenes, with just trying to get kids to, there's all those stories. But when it comes down to actual NIL and it being in place as a rule, I never would have, thought that would have come to be. But I think it'll definitely change the high school landscape a lot, just like it's changed the college landscape a lot. There's definitely going to need to be things set in place, boundaries, limitations, and all that, just so it doesn't kind of, go wild. But like I said, there's a lot of moving parts to all of it, and it's cool because it's adapting. But I just hope it still keeps the same vibe and feel it needs to. Same with college basketball. I still want that same competitiveness, before the pro leagues and that whole thing. And so it's crazy to think, but yeah, I never thought it would make its way down to high school. So
that is wild.
The next few, coming years, how it affects the game and how it affects where guys end up too.
Kyle Young is our guest, going to have his number retired tomorrow night at Jackson. If you're in the area, the Polar Bears will play tomorrow night at home around 7 o'clock, and Kyle's going to have his number 35 put up on the wall at the high school. It's going to be a really cool experience for everybody tomorrow night. Couple quick ones, and we'll let you go, my man. I know you're busy. You're coaching. You're living your life. Do you get a chance to watch or pay attention a lot to Ohio State basketball and the Cavs? I don't know if you're a Cavs fan or not, but if you are, speak a little bit on both of those squads and how they're doing.
Yeah, obviously being an Ohio State alumni, I definitely try to keep up with them. I've been to a few games so far this season with my wife and my family, and it's always good to, go down there and see everybody and kind of check in. I know they're kind of, on the bubble right now with getting into the tournament, but I got full faith in them and Coach Ziebler and his staff and those players, because Coach Ziebler, he's a great guy. I played for him, great coach, great basketball mind. So it's tough to see some of the stuff online that's had been said or being said about that whole situation, because obviously just being on the inside of it, I know how good of a basketball mind he is and good of a person he is. So I wish them nothing but the best. When it comes to the Cavs, I haven't watched a whole bunch of NBA, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I seen the recent trade with James Harden. I like it. I've always, liked to watch him play. I think it'd be cool to, bring another guy on board and then bring LeBron back home.
It might happen
here. I think that would be a cool ending. So, other than that, man, I don't watch much Cavs. So.
Gotcha. Well, I tell you what, they're starting to play really well now. They could be a lot of fun to watch here, and I think you're going to get your wish. I think LeBron's going to come back next year. I'd almost guarantee it, but I think that'll be fun as well. Well, Kyle, I really appreciate you coming on and spending some time with us today. Obviously, loved watching you play. Loved to broadcast a lot of your games. Watching you at Ohio State and Butler, and just a great human. And congratulations on the honor. Soak it all in tomorrow night, and best of luck to you. Okay.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on.
You got it, man. Here he goes. Kyle Young, former Jackson Polar Bear and Ohio State Buckeye, going to have his number 35 retired tomorrow night at Jackson High School. That's a solid dude right there. Let's take a break. Sam Bourquin Show will come back after this. 1310 WDPN.
High school basketball is on AM 1310 WDPN all season long. Brought to you by SARTA. I'm Christian Bigglesworth, calling boys and girls action from around the Eastern Buckeye Conference, the Alliance Aviators, the Marlington Dukes, and the West Branch Warriors. And this year, listen live and free on the AM 1310 WDPN Facebook and X pages and the Q92 YouTube channel. High school basketball, powered by SARTA on AM 1310 WDPN.
This place has a pulse. You hear it in the canopy, feel it in the ground. Life, fully illuminated, engulfs you. From the birds singing in the treetops above to the tiniest insects in the soil below, you take a deep, cleansing breath, filling your lungs with the essence of the forest. Now, imagine it's all gone. Healthy, life-giving forests reduced to nothing. No singing birds, no lush canopy, and water and food in short supply around the world. Time is running out to protect our forests, and without our love, they can and will disappear. It's our choice. Love it or lose it. Help protect our forests. Visit World Wildlife Fund at wwf.org/love.
And we're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for the... And there they go, almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
T10 WDPN, welcome back to the Sam Bourquin Show. Thanks to Kyle Young for joining us here today. I got news for you if you missed any interviews today. Mike Fuline of Mount Union, Adam Jardy from the Columbus Dispatch, or Kyle Young. Those will all be up in podcast on our social media platforms a little bit after the show is over tonight. So make sure you are on the lookout for those on Twitter, Facebook, X, YouTube, Q92 on YouTube, and of course AM1310 WDPN. Those will be up, and you can enjoy those anytime you wish. I was looking at our interview with Jake Atkins from Louisville. I went back and listened to a couple of minutes of it, and I looked at some of the stats. You know, we can find out, you know, how many people listen, how long they listen, all that stuff. It's over 4,000 views for that, and it's still growing. So that is really cool. Let's see here. Coming up tomorrow, we will be live at Washington High School, the home of the Massillon Tigers, tomorrow afternoon. Showtime at 3 here on AM 1310 WDPN. And then tomorrow late afternoon, we will have high school basketball. Oh, this is going to be fierce. Massillon McKinley tomorrow, tip at 5:45 on our sister station, Q92 and Q92radiosports.com. If you can't get in and you don't have a ticket, make sure you listen to us tomorrow on Q92 at about 5:45. And just a reminder, that's when the game starts. So don't be lollygagging into the gym at 7 o'clock. And you're going to look up at the scoreboard, and the time's going to be ticking away. It's going to be time to go home. So don't be late tomorrow. The Tigers and the Bulldogs, 5:45 tip in Massillon tomorrow. That is going to be a ball game. Cannot wait to bring that one to you tomorrow night. What do we got here? About 2 minutes or so. 3-question Thursday quiz. The comments are still coming in. Keep those rolling. Question number one, if you had to listen to one album for the rest of your life, which one would it be? Question 2, what's the worst job you've ever had? Question 3, a word that always gives you trouble when you try to spell it. Get those in, and we'll read those comments as we get along. We got some comments on the Q92 chat. We'll get back into those as well. Don't forget 529 today on this day in sports history. If you missed it earlier today, Rick Hairston has been named the head coach of the Mount Union women's flag football team. And Coach is going to join us next Monday afternoon to talk about all that. And I just happened to see this. There's going to be another multi-state lottery beginning. And yes, Ohio is going to be a part of it. It's called Millionaire for Life. So Powerball and Mega Millions, look out. There's another big lottery coming your way, and we'll tell you about that in the 5 o'clock hour as well. Right now, it's time for the news and weather. Get you squared away with what's going on in your world, and we'll come back with one more big hour to go here on AM 1310 WDPN.
An Alliance tradition for over half a century. You can always count on WDPN Alliance.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. A federal judge temporarily blocked the Pentagon from demoting and fining Senator Mark Kelly over that video made with fellow Democrats.
In a biting opinion that chastised Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, a Republican-appointed judge on Thursday blocked the Defense Department from trying to punish Senator Mark Kelly over a video he and other Democrats made urging service members not to follow illegal orders, accusing Hegseth of trampling on Kelly's First Amendment rights. Today's decision comes 2 days after a grand jury in Washington declined to indict Kelly and the other lawmakers participated in the video. Peter Haralambous, ABC News.
Happening now in New York City, a rally near the historic Stonewall Inn, where New York City politicians raised the rainbow flag again after the Interior Department removed the pride flag this week, part of a directive that only the U.S. flag should be flown at the National Monument. The inn is the site of the Stonewall riots decades ago that sparked the gay rights movement. On Wall Street today, sharp declines across the board. This is ABC News.
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
Now, the latest Alliance area news from Jeff Mears on AM 1310 WDPN.
Good afternoon. It's 5:02. Investigators are confirming 2 fires in Jackson Township were arson and are seeking the public's help to find those responsible. The blazes destroyed multiple vehicles and carports at 2 apartment complexes. One occurred Tuesday in the 4800 block of South Boulevard Northwest and another Wednesday in the 5600 block of Lassiter Street Northwest. One person suffered minor injuries in the incidents. A reward of up to $5,000 is available for information leading to an arrest and conviction. Tip lines are open at 1-800-589-2728 for the State Fire Marshal and 330-832-1553 for Jackson Township Police. Massillon police say a man allegedly attacked family members. It happened Tuesday in the 2200 block of Lincoln Way West. 28-year-old Justin Broach of Massillon is accused of stabbing his grandmother in the head and threatening his cousin with a knife. He was arrested that day and arraigned today in Massillon Municipal Court with bond set at $200,000. Broach pleaded not guilty. He had a felony conviction last year. Broach's preliminary hearing is scheduled for February 19th. Residents living just outside the city of Canton may soon have to annex into the city to get water service. Council is proposing a rule making annexation a requirement for new hookups or transfers of existing accounts with a waiver option that council can override. The ordinance is expected to be introduced at the February 23rd council meeting. According to the repository, council says the move will ensure city taxpayers aren't subsidizing infrastructure for township residents. The plan has drawn pushback from Plain Township officials who call it targeted and want annexation reform. A woman faces charges following a single-vehicle crash in Pike Township that seriously injured her 9-year-old daughter. 35-year-old Kristen Eagle of Canton Township was arrested Wednesday on warrants for aggravated vehicular assault and endangering children. In May 2025, Eagle was southbound on Kiefer Avenue Southwest when her SUV ran off the road and struck a culvert and 2 trees. The Highway Patrol says both Eagle and her daughter were taken to Mercy Hospital, where the child was treated for a broken leg. Alcohol and marijuana were suspected in the wreck. Eagle is scheduled for arraignment tomorrow in Canton Municipal Court. A man will serve 5 years probation after hitting a protester during an October 18th No Kings rally in Jackson Township. 77-year-old Donald Frank of Jackson Township pleaded no contest Wednesday in Massillon Municipal Court to failure to stop after an accident and a marked lanes violation. A judge suspended his license for 180 days and imposed a $250 fine. A 180-day jail sentence was suspended. Police say Frank's pickup straddled lanes on Fulton Drive Northwest before jumping the curb and striking a woman. She suffered minor injuries. Investigators found no indication the incident was intentional. Diebold Nixdorf more than doubled its free cash flow in 2025 to a record $239 million, capping off a strong year for the North Canton-based company. Full-year adjusted earnings per share rose to $5.59. In the fourth quarter, revenue climbed nearly 12% to $1.1 billion, with adjusted earnings of $164 million. The company also completed $128 million in share buybacks and received a credit rating boost from Moody's. Diebold Nixdorf signed major global contracts, launched new ATMs, and forecasts 2026 revenue between $3.86 and $3.94 billion. An Ashtabula man faces 5 years probation and possible additional prison time for violations after pleading guilty to sexual abuse charges in Portage County. 30-year-old Anthony Lopez entered pleas February 5th in common pleas court to gross sexual imposition and child endangering, while other charges were dropped. A judge ordered a pre-sentence investigation. Prosecutors say the abuse involved children as young as 6 and occurred between 2014 and 2023. Lopez is classified as a sexually violent predator. 8 Portage County townships could soon be designated as restricted areas for large wind and solar projects. County commissioners have scheduled a public hearing for 6:30 p.m. March 26th at the Emergency Operations Center in Ravenna. The proposal includes Manaway, Hiram, Nelson, Freedom, Paris, Rootstown, Randolph, and Atwater townships. Officials say the communities want to follow Shalersville Township, which has had a ban on economically significant wind and solar farms since 2023. East Palestine schools have reached a $750,000 partial settlement with Norfolk Southern Railway, ending their federal lawsuit. $150,000 will cover school closures, staff pay, and transportation during the 2023 train derailment, while $600,000 is designated for communication and marketing. The suit was filed over unpaid promises for emergency use of school buildings. Officials say this settlement doesn't prevent other claims, including funding for a $30 million community center and lost tax revenue. A man convicted in a Columbiana County sex-for-hire sting is challenging his conviction in court. 55-year-old Eric Knock of Newton Falls has filed an appeal with the 7th District Court. His attorney argues the trial court erred in denying a motion to dismiss and is also challenging the sufficiency and weight of the evidence. Knock was found guilty of engaging in prostitution and possessing criminal tools after police say he agreed to pay for sex with an undercover agent and drove to Salem in July 2025 for the meeting. He was fined $800, given a suspended 180-day jail term, and ordered to complete community service and a prostitution prevention course. A preliminary hearing is scheduled February 26th for a Sebring woman accused in a violent episode that left her husband dead. 62-year-old Don McDonald is being held without bond in the Mahoning County Jail on charges including aggravated arson, assault, aggravated menacing, having weapons under disability, and disorderly conduct. Police say officers responded February 2nd to her East Oregon Avenue home after reports she was making suicidal threats and endangering others. McDonald is accused of resisting EMS and police, setting an officer's hair on fire, and threatening to detonate an oxygen tank. During the incident, her husband suffered a self-inflicted gunshot wound and died at the hospital. A change in leadership is coming to the Sebring School District, with Superintendent Tony Viscount set to retire July 31st after more than a decade in the role. Viscount, who has led the district since 2014, plans to spend more time with family. The Board of Education is accepting applications until February 20th and will interview candidates later this month, expecting to name her successor in March. Recently, the district hired April Habiger as assistant treasurer. She will replace Don Welsh, who is retiring after almost 9 years on May 1st. A jury has acquitted a Boardman woman in a 2023 Youngstown shooting case. A jury in Mahoning County Common Pleas Court found 29-year-old Robin Johnson not guilty Wednesday of discharging a firearm near prohibited premises and 2 counts of felonious assault, including gun specifications. The case stemmed from an incident on South Avenue where prosecutors say Johnson shot a woman in the shoulder, striking her lung. Johnson's attorney argued she fired in self-defense after being attacked. A Mahoning County judge has sentenced a man to 68 years in prison for sexual abuse of 2 girls. 51-year-old Dustin Reuter of Youngstown received the punishment in common pleas court Wednesday. He was convicted on 67 counts after a retrial, which was required when an appeals court overturned many of his original 2022 convictions. Prosecutors said Reuter began abusing the girls in 2018 and both reported the abuse in 2019. Warren police are investigating a deadly shooting at an apartment complex. Officers responded just after 11 Wednesday night to the area of Mahoning Avenue and Hall Street for a reported shooting. The Trumbull County coroner confirmed one man was pronounced dead. His name has not yet been released. A Warren human trafficking ring has led to 8 guilty pleas for forcing women into prostitution at Tiger Spa and Sunny Spa. The defendants agreed to forfeit more than $676,000 in cash and assets seized during the 2023 investigation. Charges include promoting prostitution, money laundering, obstruction of justice, and possession of criminal tools. The pleas come after raids by the Mahoning Valley Human Trafficking Task Force. Sentencing is scheduled for March 17th. 2 additional defendants still face charges. It's 26 degrees in Alliance at 5:09. This is the local edition of WDPN News. I'm Jeff Mears.
Meteorologist Mark Johnson has the latest forecast on AM 1310 WDPN.
Dry weather for your Thursday afternoon. Clouds with a little peak or 2 of sunshine here and there. Our high 28 degrees. Overnight, cloudy skies for the most part. I think we'll clear you out by dawn. Our low near 15. From the 3 News Weather Center, I'm Mark Johnson.
Live from the AM 1310 WDPN studio, it's time for live and local sports talk. It's the Sam Bourquin Show.
I'm ready.
Give the show a call at 330-821-1310.
Good call, meatball.
Watch the Sam Bourquin Show on the AM 1310 Facebook page, the Q92 YouTube page, and on X. This is the Sam Bourquin Show on AM 1310 WDPN.
He wears number 1. Welcome to Cleveland, James Harden.
He'll shovel back to Harden. Once more to Merrill. He doesn't hesitate. Oh, goodness. Sam Merrill is putting on a show. 20% of the Wizards' 15-man roster speaks French. Koulibaly, whoa, is Allen down the lane. He does.
6-0 run. They trap Arenas and they get the turnover. 2-on-1. Bynum and Thornton. Bynum throws it down.
Solid box out.
Thornton gets his man in the air. Now kicks it for Johnson. And Puff Johnson gets the 3, and Ohio State has its largest lead of the game.
All right, Buckeyes. All right, Purple Raiders. All right, Cavs. Good night last night. That audio there, courtesy of the Big Ten Network. The Cavaliers audio from the Cleveland Cavaliers and FanDuel TV. Welcome into the Sam Bourquin Show. AM 1310 WDPN. 3-question Thursday. We'll get to the quiz. I want to thank Mike Fuline for joining us today of Mount Union. Adam Jardy from the Columbus Dispatch talking a little OSU hoops. And thanks to Kyle Young for joining us on the program today. 330-821-1310. 330-821-1310 is our telephone number. The chat room I see is picking up a little bit in the Q92 Radio YouTube channel. We'll get to those in a minute. We got our 3-question Thursday quiz to hand out coming up at 5:29 today on this day in sports history. Cavs looked good last night, as they should have, against a very bad Washington Wizards team. You heard some of the highlights as we came in. The intro for James Harden last night. Sam Merrill was on fire from the 3-point line. And Cavaliers kind of put it in cruise a little earlier than usual last night. And yes, for those of you that are asking, they did cover the 17.5 point spread last night with that 138-113 win. So that's 5 in a row for the Cavs. They're now 34-21 on the season. We told you about Sammy Merrill last night. 32 for Sam, and he got it in 24 minutes. That is what they say being efficient is. Jared Allen, 21-9. James Harden, 13, 4, and 11. Spida had 30 last night in 27 minutes. But again, the Cavs, they were able to cruise last night. This was in the bag early. They outscored Washington 40-24 in the first quarter, and they never looked back. So good win for the Wine and Gold. They are now headed to the NBA All-Star break. Buckeyes with a nice win over Southern Cal last night, 89-82 at the Schottenstein Center. Buckeyes really needed that one because they're like on the bubble. There's really not a lot of wiggle room for them. They've got 7 games left, 6 in conference. They're going to go out of conference this weekend and play Virginia down in Nashville. But they got some tough games coming up. And out of the 7, I think they're going to have to win 4. And they got some toughies. Purdue, Wisconsin, at Michigan State. They got some tough games coming up. I think they're going to have to win at least 4. And then you might have to win 1 or 2 in the conference tournament. You know, back in the day, if you got to 20 wins, it was like your automatic ticket, right? Not anymore. Not anymore. And especially, you know, if some of your wins are against, you know, suspect competition, then you better win a whole lot more than that. But they got a tough row to hoe here. Virginia, Wisconsin, Michigan State, Iowa, Purdue, Penn State, Indiana to wrap things up. So we'll see if the Bucks can get on a little roll here. High school basketball tomorrow. No game on 1310 tomorrow night. We will have our show live tomorrow here on WDPN from Massillon beginning at 3. And then tip time tomorrow afternoon for the Bulldogs and the Tigers. McKinley-Massillon tomorrow, 5:45. You can catch that game, all of it, the whole shebang on Q92 tomorrow night. And, of course, Q92radiosports.com and all of our social media platforms. So don't be late tomorrow. I'm going to try to remind you as many times as we can. Tip tomorrow at 5:45 for McKinley and Massillon over at Washington High School, and looking forward to bringing you that game tomorrow afternoon, I should say, on Q92. Our 3-question Thursday quiz. Number 1, if you had to listen to just one album for the rest of your life, which one would it be? Question 2, what's the worst job you've ever had? Question number 3, what is one word that you've always had trouble spelling? Get those comments in. We'll work them into the show here this afternoon on the YouTube chat, and, of course, all of our other social media platforms as well. Let's get into a couple of these comments here. Where do we leave off? I forget. I'm just going to start off with Danny Michael here. Dan, hope you're doing well. He says, Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. He says he's loved every job he's ever had. And the word that he has trouble spelling is restaurant. Me too. I always want to spell it restur instead of restar, if that makes sense. Mike V checking in today, partner. Hope that sales gig is treating you well today. Pink Floyd, The Wall is his album. His worst job being a crew member at Mickey D's. Oh, the secrets he could tell. Word he has trouble spelling, convenience. He had to correct it and spell check it twice, and he was still wrong. Yeah, convenience can be tricky. It can be tricky. Steve Shoemaker checking in. He says, The Replacements, Pleased to Meet Me, his album. His worst job, working in a sewage plant when he was 16. Ooh. The word he has trouble spelling, privilege. He says, I have no idea why, but it's always been hard for me to spell. Jay checking in today. Boy, the sales guys dialed in today. He says, Tupac, All Eyes on Me is his favorite album. Worst job, residential door-to-door sales for said cable company. Word he has trouble with, What is this? What is this word? It's either consciousness.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
consensus?
It's consciousness.
Okay.
Or is it consensus?
I don't know. I can't see it.
CONSECENTIOUS. Consensus? Boy,
I have to look at it.
I don't know. Jay,
I'd
you
have
better
to
go
be
back and check that one again. Oh, that's funny. Wayne checking in. He says his album for the rest of his life would be Seconds Out by Genesis. His worst job, rental car delivery person. The word he has trouble spelling the most is friend.
Got our very own Christian from Q92 on YouTube. Says album is Shinedown Sound of Madness.
I knew that. I knew that.
Job is parking deck at YSU, became landscaping, so I quit. Don't blame him there. He says word I can't spell as forward.
Forward.
Yep.
Now,
That's an easy one.
Is it FORWARD?
Yeah.
Or is it FOWARD?
No, it's
like,
FOR.
Do we say forward or forward? See?
Well, that Christian has spelled it FORWARD, which is how I'm pretty sure forward is spelled.
Okay.
But now you confuse me. Every time I think I know how a word's spelled, you're like, "Oh, wait a minute, Ryan.
I know I've done my job.
This?
I've done my job when I've confused the producer. Ron checking in. AC/DC, Back in Black. Question 2, his worst job, delivering snacks for vendors at 3 a.m. No thanks. No, I wouldn't want to do that either. The word he has trouble spelling, Albuquerque. That is a tough one. George checking in. Judas Priest Live, his go-to album. Worst job, a wire puller on a dairy loading dock. That doesn't sound fun at all. The word he has trouble spelling, I was just waiting for the first one to send this one in. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Kevin Miller checking in. Bruce, born in the USA, his worst job, stocking shelves at Toys R Us. Word that he always misspells, desert or dessert. Both of them he's had trouble with. Ryan checking in. Ryan B., he says his album would be College Dropout by Kanye. His worst job working at, I don't think Speedway advertises with us. He's worked at 3 locations, and the worst one was easily by the Timken Company. Never again. Word that he struggles to spell is precinct. And let's do 2 more here. We'll get to a break. Dougie checking in says the Beatles, their number 1 hits album. His worst job, working in a cardboard factory. The word he has trouble spelling is rhythm. That's a toughie because you got to put the H in there. RHY in rhythm. And Betty checking in today. Betty, hope you're well. She says her worst job, the accountant for a company who hadn't balanced their checkbook in 4 years. The word she has trouble spelling, hallelujah. Betty, I'm with you. I couldn't spell hallelujah right now with a dictionary and a spell check in front of me.
No, I gave up on hallelujah.
I've given up. I say it, but I'll never be able to spell it. So there's that. All right, let's take a break. 330-821-1310 is our telephone number. Get involved, everybody, on all of our social media platforms. We'll come back. We'll check the chat on Q92 YouTube and more coming up on the Sam Bourquin Show, 1310 WDPN.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-498-2098 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as 1 day. Just dial 1-800-498-2098 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-498-2098 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
How's Tommy doing now?
Much better.
You said it was asthma?
Yeah, he started with this cough and then he was wheezing.
That's terrifying.
Doctor said hidden triggers can make it worse. Things like dust, mold, and even pests.
Pests?
Yeah, droppings and allergens from cockroaches and rodents can seriously impact children with asthma or allergies.
I had no idea.
We're making sure our home stays pest-free.
Don't let pests put your family's health at risk. Visit pestworld.org to learn more. A public service message from the National Pest Management Association.
When I smoke weed, I get lost in the music. I like to isolate each instrument. The rhythmic bass, the harmonies on the piano, the sticky melody.
Hey, careful, babe. There's someone crossing the street.
Sorry, I didn't see him there.
If you feel different, you drive different. Don't drive high. It's dangerous and illegal everywhere. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hip, hip. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. When you're on a holiday, you can't find the words to say.
Welcome back to the Sam Bourquin Show, AM1310 WDPN. We'll be with you until 6 o'clock tonight. 330-821-1310, 330-821-1310. Coming up on this day in sports history in about 4 minutes or so. Boy, the comments have been fantastic on our 3-question Thursday today, especially the last two. Some of the I'm just going to kind of go through here a little bit quicker so I can get to more of them. Album that if you had to listen to one album for the rest of your life, what it would be. Bee Gees, Judas Priest, the Eagles, 71-74, the White Album, Def Leppard, another one for the White Album, Michael Stanley, Heartland, any Led Zeppelin album, Cheap Trick, Journey, Greatest Hits, Led Zeppelin, Physical Graffiti, Lee Cockman out there in the great state of Montana.
I don't know, Sam.
Rio by Duran Duran.
Do you think the Greatest Hits collection counts as an album?
Well, I guess that's all how you look at it.
Yeah.
Because they do put it out as one.
They do.
I guess technically I would have to, yeah.
I would say it's more of a compilation.
Spell that. No, I'm kidding.
COMPLIATION. Compilation.
Oh, my God.
Don't come at me. Some words I can spell, you know.
Foreigner got a couple of votes today. Pearl Jam 10. Zeppelin Graffiti. Some folks who have chimed in with their the worst job that they've ever had. I love these. Let's see here. Where did I leave off? Taco Bell part-time. Somebody worked at Swenson's, didn't really like it. Boy, Galley Burger every day? Come on, couldn't have been that bad. Working for a lawyer's office. Crown Shoes. When is the last time Crown Shoes was around? That had to have been in the 80s? Maybe?
It's definitely pre my birthday.
I remember
I remember
Crown Shoes, but my God, I haven't heard that in a long time.
Is that like what Payless used to be back in the day?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of like that.
Okay, that's kind of what I was thinking.
There was another shoe store, Crown Payless. There's another one. Was there a shoe store called Stride Right?
I don't know.
Anybody remember? And they had like real weird, like you would sit down to try a pair of shoes on, and the chairs were like multicolored. Like you would have a blue chair, a red chair, a green chair, an orange chair. I could be way off there, but I think I remember that at the Belden Village Mall. I don't know. I think. If anybody knows out there, let us know. Stride Right. I think it was a shoe store. Let's see here. Another worst job. Huff Bakery. Putting strings on coupons. Cutting grass with a push mower at the Marathon Petroleum Processing Plant. Now, that doesn't sound like fun. Holy cow. Delivering the Washington Post. Wow. Nick's Shoe Repair. I remember Nick. Downtown. Holy smokes. All right, we'll get back to that here after the break. Time for On This Day in Sports History. How about this? In 1878, Frederick W. Thayer patented the baseball catcher's mask. Wow. How about that for an invention? 1879, the first artificial ice rink opened in North America. It was at Madison Square Garden in New York City. On this day in 1982, Wayne Gretzky tied the NHL record for points in a season when he got his 153rd point. The great Bill Fitch. Love coach. 1987, Bill Fitch became the 5th NBA coach in history to get 700 career wins. And on this day in 2002, baseball owners approved the sale of the Florida Marlins and the Montreal Expos. The sale. Wow. That was in 2002. Hey, you see, I know I'm going off bait here for a little bit. NBA, looks like we know who the expansion teams are going to be coming up. It looks like it's going to be Seattle in Las Vegas. And there's a rumor that a team in the NBA West is going to move to the East. I'm trying to figure out who that might be. News and weather next, 1310 WDPN.
Here's the latest news on AM 1310 WDPN.
Good afternoon. It's 5:30. Major changes announced today on the immigration crackdown in Minnesota. ABC's Karen Travers has details.
President Trump's border czar Tom Homan announced Thursday the administration's surge of law enforcement in Minnesota has ended and agents will now begin leaving the state. Homan claiming Minnesota is now, quote, less of a sanctuary state for criminals.
I have proposed, and President Trump has concurred, that this surge operation conclude. A significant drawdown has already been underway this week and will continue through the next week.
Homan was sent to Minneapolis last month following the fatal shooting of Alex Preddy, and as the administration was facing mounting pressure for its aggressive tactics on immigration enforcement. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
Investigators are pleading with people to share home surveillance camera footage from specific dates leading up to the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie as they deal with thousands of tips in their hope to crack the case. Guthrie, the 84-year-old mother of Today's Show host Savannah Guthrie, has been missing from her Tucson area home since February 1st. TV stations in Tucson reported Wednesday that people with Ring doorbell cameras in the area got an alert saying investigators are requesting footage from January 11th between 9 p.m. and midnight. The stations also reported that a pair of black gloves were recovered during agents' search and have been submitted for DNA analysis. A Ukrainian athlete has been disqualified from the 2026 Winter Olympics over the helmet he wanted to wear during competition. Vladislav Herskovich is a skeleton athlete and went to Italy with a helmet showing images of more than 20 Ukrainian athletes killed in the war with Russia. The IOC ruled that he could not wear the helmet during competition since it would violate a rule against making political statements on the field. Olympic officials suggested that Herskovich wear a black armband instead, but he maintained that the helmet does not violate IOC rules. IOC spokesman Mark Adams spoke about the decision to bar him from competition today.
It's not about his message. It's absolutely not about the message that he wanted to give. It's simply the place.
The remote Canadian community of Tumbler Ridge is mourning after a shooting that killed 8 people, mostly children, plus the shooter. Residents of the British Columbia community have been building a memorial with lights and stuffed animals and gathered late Wednesday for a cold vigil. Police say the suspect, 18-year-old Jesse Van Roetselar, died from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. Authorities say police had visited her home before for mental health checks. They say she first killed her mother and stepbrother, then attacked the nearby school. The motive is unclear. Prime Minister Mark Carney says Canada mourns with the town. It's 25 degrees in Alliance at 5:32. This is WDPN News. I'm Jeff Mears.
Now, the Alliance Area Weather Forecast from Mark Johnson on AM 1310 WDPN.
Dry weather for your Thursday afternoon. Cloudy skies, maybe a peak of sunshine here and there, a high of 28 degrees. Overnight, we'll start off cloudy. We'll clear you out by dawn. Our low near 15. From the 3 News Weather Center, I'm Mark Johnson.
Well, ZZ Top to bring you back in. Welcome back, everybody. Sam Bourquin Show, 1310 WDPN, a 3-question Thursday. Keep those comments coming in. Thanks to Mike Fuline for joining us today. Adam Jardy from the Columbus Dispatch and former Jackson standout and Buckeye baller Kyle Young. We appreciate them coming on the show. If you missed those interviews, they'll be up in podcast a little bit after the show tonight. So be on the lookout for all of your social media platforms, and you can go back and listen to those anytime that you wish. We're going to hear from James Harden and Kenny Atkinson coming up in a couple of minutes, but I told you about a new, another way. They got us again. Another multi-state lottery is getting ready to begin. It's going to start on February the 22nd, and it's called Millionaire for Life. Let me give you some of the particulars here on this Millionaire for Life. So you've got Mega Millions, you've got Powerball, and now you've got Millionaire for Life. And yes, Ohio is in the mix. It's going to be available in 30 states plus the District of Columbia when it launches. Okay, so here's the deal on this new game. The tickets are $5 per play. Yeesh. Select 5 numbers from 1 to 58, and then there's a millionaire ball from 1 to 5. There's 9 ways to win, from matching 1 white ball and 1 millionaire ball to matching all 6 balls for the grand prize. Now, the top prize is $1 million per year for life. Second prize is $100,000 a year for life. Now, winners of the 2 prizes can choose to receive their prize in an annuity with guaranteed payments for 20 years or a one-time $18 million cash payment for the jackpot or $2.2 million for the second prize. Drawings will be held nightly at 11:15 p.m. Here's some of the prizes and the odds, the breakdown, all right? The $1 million for life, you match 5 white balls and a millionaire ball. Guess what the odds are on that? Rainsburg, take a guess. I know I told you, but take a guess.
Oh, yeah, it's something like, what was it, 1 in 23 million or something like that?
1 in 22.9 million.
It's off by 0.1.
The 100,000 per year for life, 1 in 5.7 million. If you match 4 white balls in the millionaire ball, odds are 1 in 86,455. That gets you $7,500. To win the $500, match 4 white balls. Odds are 1 in 21,614. I don't really like the odds here, folks. For the $250 winner, match 3 white balls plus the millionaire ball. That's 1 in 1,663. For a $50 winner, match 3 white balls. Odds are 1 in 416. That's not bad. For $25, match 2 white balls in the millionaire ball. Your odds are 1 in 98. For $8, woohoo, match 2 white balls. The odds are 1 in 24. $8 also if you match 1 white ball plus the millionaire ball. Those odds are 1 in 16. But remember, it's $5 a ticket. Millionaire for Life. It all begins on Sunday, February the 22nd. Okay, I'll play. I'll buy some tickets. Now, I'm rolling cash 5 guy. Been playing that for, 30 years. Haven't won ever. But I kind of feel that, those 5 numbers got to come up at some point. I'm like Paul Newman on Nobody's Fool. It's got to come up at some point. But I'll give this a shot. But probably won't play it often, maybe once a week. Oh, it's a nightly thing too. You can play it every day.
You see, Sam, this is why the show works, because you're a glass half full kind of guy. Whereas I'm a glass half empty kind of guy, obviously, because I do not see it that way.
Yeah.
So good for you, Fred.
I'm usually glass half empty guy too. But when it comes to gambling, somehow I turn it into a positive, even though it usually ends up being a negative.
This is exactly what I'm afraid of.
I don't know, but I'll see. I got to play at least once.
Yeah, for sure.
Just to see. Well, there's some new scratch offs coming too. There's 5 new scratch offs from the lottery coming February 16th. I think that's next Tuesday? Yeah. I might bring a couple in. Maybe I'll bring a couple in, and just because I'm a good guy, I'm a good coworker. Maybe I'll bring in a couple extra scratch offs and people can scratch them and see if they win.
You know what? You let me know. I'll give you some ones like I did the last time.
Yeah, you did. I went down to the store and I got you, what was that, Mega Millions or Powerball?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
it didn't win. But...
No. Well, that was one of those 1 in 800 trillion chances.
Yeah, exactly.
But we didn't.
It was never going to win.
We didn't have any luck there, but all the fun that we had. Also want to congratulate and shout out Rick Hairston, my guy. He is going to be the official new head football coach of the women's flag football team at the University of Mount Union. So congratulations, Coach Rick. He's going to come on the show, talk to him this afternoon. He's going to come on the show Monday, and we'll talk all about that. And don't ask me, is he still going to coach basketball, Glenn? Don't ask me that. We don't know that. But we're going to talk to Coach Rick Monday about the new gig at Mount Union as the he's going to be on the ground up of the women's flag football team at the University of Mount Union. All right, Cavaliers played really well last night, as they should have. Took care of the Washington Wizards, and it was the first home game last night for James Harden. You heard the introduction last night. We had that during our hourly intros here on the show, and James talked to the media after the game last night, had some pretty cool answers to the media's questions. Let's check it out. James Harden at Rockin' Arena last night after the Cavaliers took care of the Wizards.
Said right now this team is hooping on 5.
Yep.
Do you agree with him? And how do you, it's only been 3 games, so a small sample size, but how have you managed to fit in so seamlessly?
Definitely vibes, definitely good energy, definitely communicating and just talking about the things that's important. You know what I mean? Like I told them, I'll figure it out, we'll do some adjusting, with each other, but for the most part, y'all play with y'all and do what y'all been doing, and I'll find my way. And, they've been doing that, you know what I mean? So even tonight, I shoot 4 shots, but we win by 25 points. That's the most important thing. And, Sam gets it going, and I'm just here to win. So whatever that looks like, if I got to go out there and score a lot of points or I got to take 4 shots and we win, that's the most important thing for me. And tonight was one of those examples.
Joe Reedy, Associated Press. James, Kobe talked last week when the trade became official that you were already talking to him about lineups and kind of scouting and everything. When did you start kind of examining the Cavs or scouting the Cavs as maybe possibly your future team? And
I mean, I love basketball, so I watch the games when I'm not playing. I mean, when I'm not playing, I watch just NBA app and just different games, different teams and whatnot. But when it was brought to my attention, then I started really tuning in on the lineups, the different rotations, and who was on the roster. And I mean, it's you have shooting, you have athleticism for bigs, you have a head honcho and Don. And then you usually got a whole bunch of, obviously you got great coaching. Then you just got a whole bunch of guys that are unselfish and willing to do whatever it takes to win. Outside looking in. And once you actually get here, it's like, oh, that's really the case. You know what I mean? And even for Don, unselfish. Even last game in Denver, the last couple minutes of the game, he just gave me the ball and let me facilitate and do what I do. So you don't really get that. You know what I mean? From superstars in this league. And so that right there gave me the open welcome to, hey, you just have as much as freedom as we both have the same freedom, if that makes sense. But, just try to get a feel for the game, no practices, a couple film sessions. Hopefully after this break we can get some practices in and figure out things that work, things that don't work. But just all off vibes, all off IQ.
And then just first home game, what did you think of the atmosphere? Everybody had their beer.
The crowd is always crazy. Every time I come here as a visitor, they're crazy. They're about the Cavs and the land, and very loyal. And they show up every single night. It's one of the things that I was mostly excited about. So tonight was no different.
James, Eagles Cleveland.com. Sam Merrill obviously went off for a heater tonight, 32 points, but there was a moment where he had hit like a second or third three in a row, and the celebration kind of broke out.
Yep.
The game had to stop, but there was no timeout. Have you ever been a part of a situation like that?
I didn't know what was going on. I was just so excited. I don't know if it was a timeout. I didn't know what to do, but the first two games, Sam, I don't even know, he probably made 1 or 2 threes. But, just see him working every single day like he's a sniper. You know what I mean? So when somebody has it like that going, I was just trying to get the ball to him just to, create those shots. But, that's the beauty of this team. You know what I mean? We don't have, got somebody that can go out there and score 30 and we don't have to do nothing. You know what I mean? So, it makes a lot of sense, especially in the postseason. You're going to need other players to step up. Obviously, the main guys are going to be the main guys, and we get a lot of the focus and the attention. But, guys like Sam and JT and just everybody else, that can make shots and put the defense on their heels. I don't know how you can stop it.
Jared Allen was 8 of 8.
Amazing. Amazing.
Obviously, you are one of the pick-and-roll maestros of the league, and you have different options, obviously, with big screen, small screen, with Donovan and Jalen and Sam Merrill. Just a lot of options that you guys have, and obviously Jared Allen being a rim-running big.
Yeah.
How do you feel like you can unlock some of these guys?
It's not even about me unlocking. It's about me just going out there and just doing what I do, and things will just happen. Great things will just happen, Tonight was, I was a little careless with the basketball, and I got to be better, but it's just so many opportunities, man. So many, the offense, the way the offense moves. You have, rolling bigs that finish around the rim. When Ev comebacks, it's going to be even better. You know what I mean? So just figuring out, when Ev comebacks, the lineup is going to be, we got 2 bigs, so we got to figure out what works and what doesn't work, but that shouldn't take long. You know what I mean? And so the different rotations, we're playing 10 guys right now. It's just a lot, but, we're winning and it feels good. You know what I mean? I think other things we can correct and figure out on the fly. We're that good.
James, John Table, Fox State.
Hey, John.
The last time you attempted 4 shots in a game?
Nope. It don't even matter. It feels good. It don't even matter. I don't care. Other than the turnovers, I wasn't going to go out there and 4 shots. First home game, you know what I mean? I'm excited, definitely excited. But we play the right brand of basketball, and guys understand the right brand of basketball that we're going to play consistently. It's going to come to me. And there's going to be nights where I score 35-40, you know what I mean? But I took 4 shots and we won the game by 25 points. Next game. You know what I mean? And that's the mindset for all of us. So Sam got it going. Don obviously had it going. Jay played extremely well. Who's next?
Credit that to just your experience and maturity, as opposed to maybe if you were younger, you would probably force more shots. And
even when I was younger, I never really tried to force shots. You know what I mean? I understand what's going on. I understand this team and the dynamic of it and how many offensive weapons we have. So I am top 10 in scoring all time. I'm not. Scoring isn't a problem for me. You know what I mean? I want to play the right way. I want to take shots when necessary, be aggressive when it's necessary. And when it's opportunities to get guys open, then, make the right pass. So I think we all know, I think Don mentioned it and spoke on it a little bit. I think we all know why I'm here. You know what I mean? It's one goal, and we all have that in common. So whether I take 4 shots or take 20 shots, we win the game, who cares?
All right. Hey, James, Mike Lucas.
What's up, Mike?
Sports Show. Donovan has said, you just alluded to it, that after this deal, it's the expectations are there. You guys are here to win a championship.
Yep.
I know it's only been less than a week, but do you feel like you guys have the pieces in this locker room?
Yeah. Yes. And you can't really say that. I don't know how many times I've really said that throughout the course of my career, but given the depth, given the shooting, the athleticism, the versatility that we have, yes.
And James, you're a top 75 player of all time, top 10 scorer, and 11th in assists. So now you're 16. It feels like it's kind of become more common in the NBA now where superstar players have moved around. Why do you think that's become kind of more the norm as opposed to guys who stick in one city and one team for their entire career?
I mean, at the end of the day, we all look at it. I mean, it is basketball, and the whole quote-unquote loyalty thing is, I think it's overrated. You know, I think this is a business at the end of the day, and it's a lot of money involved and a lot of decisions that has to be made. You know what I mean? So, you know, like if a player isn't producing or if you don't see him in the future or, you know, front office, some of them have to do like a job and want to keep their job, you know, so they got to feel like they got to do what's best for, you know, to keep their job, and they trade players. Or if a guy isn't happy and he wants to be traded to somewhere else, then it's a problem. It's just so many different dynamics that go into it. This is a business at the end of the day. So, like, you know, not even just NBA, but like people that have normal jobs have those same problems. It's just not magnified. You know what I mean? So, for me, it's always about like I don't lose focus of you know, trying to compete for a championship, and then financially, you know, making sure that my family is taken care of. You know what I mean? Because I'm very smart and I've sacrificed a lot. You know what I mean? Financially, like, which I don't get credit. I don't get talked about, but I'm fulfilled and I'm happy with it, you know? But like winning a championship, or at least having a chance to, and then financially getting paid for, you know, me being available and playing at the highest level for so long. So to answer your question, you know, this is a business at the end of the day. So I feel like players should, you know, ultimately do what's best for them, and front office does what's best for them and their owner and their organization. So, you know, it's two sides of a story.
That is James Harden after the Cavaliers beat the Washington Wizards last night at Rocket Arena. And now time for the NBA All-Star break. Got a hockey final for you from the Winter Olympics. Men's hockey team, U.S., beat Latvia today by the score of 5-1. So the USA picks up their first win for the Winter Olympics today. 5-1 over Latvia. We're coming up on 5:52. We'll take a break here on the show. 1310 WDPN, and we'll be back. Stay with us.
High school basketball is on AM 1310 WDPN all season long. Brought to you by SARTA. I'm Christian Bigglesworth, calling boys and girls action from around the Eastern Buckeye Conference, the Alliance Aviators, the Marlington Dukes, and the West Branch Warriors. And this year, listen live and free on the AM 1310 WDPN Facebook and X pages and the Q92 YouTube channel. High school basketball, powered by SARTA on AM 1310 WDPN.
I want you to imagine for a moment you're in a hospital. You are the patient connected to an IV bag. There's a constant parade of serious doctors, countless tests, endless pokes, and a serious diagnosis. Scary surgeries are followed by painful recoveries. You're in the hospital for days, weeks, months. Now imagine experiencing all of these things and you're only a child. This is why Starlight exists, to bring happiness to hospitalized children through programs that help kids cope, build resilience, bolster confidence, and change their outlook. Programs like gaming, virtual reality headsets, toy deliveries, radio flyer wagons, and cozy hospital gowns are just a few of the ways Starlight eases a child's hospital stay. Because happiness matters. Visit starlight.org to learn more.
How's Tommy doing now?
Much better.
You said it was asthma?
Yeah, he started with this cough and then he was wheezing.
That's terrifying.
Doctor said hidden triggers can make it worse. Things like dust, mold, and even pests.
Pests?
Yeah, droppings and allergens from cockroaches and rodents can seriously impact children with asthma or allergies.
I had no idea.
We're making sure our home stays pest-free.
Don't let pests put your family's health at risk. Visit pestworld.org to learn more. A public service message from the National Pest Management Association.
She's alive. Science.
$13.10 WDPN. It's about 7 minutes left to go in the show. 330-821-1310. You can always text at 330-924-7088 or leave your comments in our Q92 Radio YouTube chat. If you want to get your answers in on our 3-question Thursday, we're doing those too. Question number 1, if you had to listen to one album for the rest of your life, which album would it be? Question number 2, what's the worst job you've ever had? And question number 3, a word that you always have trouble spelling. You can keep those coming in, and we'll get a couple of minutes here before we wrap up shop. We'll go back in and we'll get some of those. Matter of fact, we just got a big stack that just came in.
Well, what's your favorite album of all time?
My favorite album of all time is probably Journey Escape.
Okay.
That's probably my favorite. I could take a deep dive. I could probably come up with, I mean, I could run. I'll run you from pop, rock, rap. I'll run you through the gamut. But Journey Escape was one of my favorite albums. When I was 19, maybe 18, 19, 21. NWA was one of my favorites. Eazy-E. I love Foreigner 4. Genesis, Abacab. I was a big Kiss fan growing up, so Kiss Alive 2 was probably one of my favorites there. What was Snoop's? He had the big one. Was it late 80s, early 90s?
Ooh, I don't know.
I think
I don't know any of Snoop's
Am
album
I allowed to even say what the name of that album was? The name of the title, it rhymes with Froggy, and the second part of it rhymes with, style. It's okay. So take that for what it's worth.
I think you could probably say that, but yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah, that was one of my favorites growing up. Frank Sinatra. I mean, I love Frank. I love Phil Collins. I have a ton, but Journey Escape, that was the first album I ever bought.
Ooh, yeah.
First one I ever bought. Like the vinyl, the cover, the whole, yeah. So that's probably my favorite. Let's see here. Worst jobs I'm going through here. Secretary at a nursing home.
Ooh,
repairing wood pallets and skids. Oh my God, John, how did you do that? Let's see here. Pet Sounds, Beach Boys, one of the favorite albums that came up today. Hunky Dory by David Bowie. Zeppelin Graffiti is getting a lot of action today. Rainsburg, I'm going to put you through the whole thing here. What's your favorite album if you had to listen to one the rest of your life?
Okay, I'm glad I let you go first because that gave me a few ideas. It's either Meteora by Linkin Park.
Yes.
It's either that or 2014 Forest Still Drives by J. Cole, because that's two albums where I can listen to every song front to back and like all of them.
Yeah. See, now there's a whole bunch coming to mind now. Like, I loved Michael Jackson's Thriller.
I
love them. I love that album.
That's the problem. You start thinking about albums. There's
Holy
so
cow.
many good.
Yeah.
It's rare that you get a whole good album, though. It's very rare.
It is, because they're usually 15, 16 tracks.
Yeah.
Right? So, hell, if 8 of them are good, that's a great album.
See, I think.
But some of them, like.
A perfect album is 10 songs, maybe 12.
Yeah, I don't think you should ever do more than 12.
No, it's the same thing with television.
I kind of been with that. Your worst job.
I worked at a factory outside of town here that made hinges, and I got the job of hinge inspector, which pretty much just involved taking apart hinges and making sure they fit together properly.
Wow.
All day. So that's not the worst job I've ever heard of, though. My roommate got a job at a factory where all he did was screw lids on bottles all day. And I believe his exact words were, "That is not a job for humans." So.
Well, you know what? I bet you they don't even have humans do that anymore.
No, not anymore.
It's probably just
sure
all
they don't.
robot or, Yeah, factory stuff, man. That's a tough way to go. And I know a lot of people that worked in factories for 20, 30, 40, 50, and God bless them.
Yeah,
I
my
don't
grandma.
know how they did it. I had a couple factory jobs. I hated them. But as you know, we all did things we didn't want to do growing up. But my worst job probably was loading a semi in a rather large sporting goods outfit, and they were 50, 60, 70-pound boxes of ammo.
Ooh.
8 hours a day on plywood that was put over rollers. And I had to load up this semi, what was like an 80, I don't know, it seemed like it was 80 feet long. And that's all I did. We got 20 minutes for lunch. It took us 8 minutes just to walk to the cafeteria. So you had to throw lunch down your gullet in like 6 minutes and get back to your job. It was awful.
Factory work.
Awful.
The backbone of this country.
Yeah, well.
It sucks.
It sucked. Oh, my God. Good stuff today.
Yeah, we talked enough about how both of us can and can't spell.
Right, yeah. No more misspelled words. We're good there. All right, it is time to go. Thanks, everybody, for checking us out today. We hope you enjoyed it. Thanks to Rainsburg. Great job, as always. Thanks to all of you for listening, commenting, and texting and emailing and dropping your comments on our Q92 Radio YouTube chat. Thanks for listening on the old radio. And don't forget, we'll do it all over again tomorrow, live from Maslin, Washington High School tomorrow afternoon at 3 right here on AM 1310 WDPN. Don't forget, go Cavs, go Bucks, go Guards, go Browns. Good night, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow.